The Triple B podcast is brought to you in part by Momentum Studios PDX. Momentum Studios PDX, providing professional audio services to the Northwest and beyond for 20 years. Visit www.zebdak.com. That's www.zebdak.com for more information. And by Big Box Toys and Collectibles. Visit bigboxtc.com for more information. And by support from listeners like you. Visit www.patreon.com/tripleb podcast to become a patron. And thanks again for all the support.
Why so serious?
Well. Happy holidays, gentlemen.
Hey. Happy holidays.
Did we all have good Christmases?
Yeah. Well, it's ludicrous to say holidays.
Are we enjoying Kwanzaa
Yeah, it's been a good one.
currently?
It's been my favorite Kwanzaa so far.
Yeah, same here. Top notch Kwanzaa.
Most recent's always the best when it comes to Kwanzaa.
When is Hanukkah?
Me missed it.
Yeah, it's past.
Isn't it? Doesn't it? Isn't there like technically some first day that's like a month before or something like that? Just some weird,
I don't know. It's like,
not weird, but
what is it? 8 days at the beginning of December or early December?
I don't know. Not Jewish.
I don't know. Not into Jews, so I don't know for sure how that holiday works.
Shout out to all the Jews, man. Fuck. Goddamn.
All the Jew homies. Welcome to the Triple B podcast. I'm Zeb. That's Chase, as usual. That's not ABBA. That is, in fact, the two-time world rap champion, Illmaculate.
Hey,
Cheers, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks for the beers. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Thanks for
likewise.
doing this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Man, thanks for coming.
Yeah, we're fucking stoked to have you here, dude.
Of course.
I was thinking about this. I was taking a shit before we were doing this.
Yeah,
and
that's-
this podcast should be called Two Big Dudes and a Little Guy.
2.5 men.
No offense at all, but ABBA's,
no,
you
it's
know,
good. Yeah.
you're not a fatty. You're not a big, we're fatties, and you're not, and ABBA's not either.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a little. Are you a dad by chance?
No, well, I fathered a lot of these rappers in the scene.
All right, fair enough. Because
No,
you
I'm
can be
not.
a tiny dad also.
Yeah, because we're the two big old boys, and ABBA's the tiny dad.
Oh,
That's kind of how that's.
So
Yeah.
fuck ABBA.
So
I'm
there
glad
it
he's
is.
not here.
You're not glad he's not here.
Yeah, I am. I hope he's having a horrible holiday. ABBA, I hope you're having. Look at me, right in your face. I hope you're having a horrible holiday.
Why would you hope that to
I'm just
somebody?
kidding. I love you to death. I don't.
Hope you're having a mediocre holiday.
Yeah.
Chase is
Too bad.
Chase is a big Christmas guy, and so now that it's over, he's probably going through post-tour depression.
Right.
Yeah.
I am.
PTD.
Dude, what the fuck? AMC's just gonna cut holiday movies. Just boom, cold
Yeah.
turkey.
Yeah. They build you up for like a whole month and change,
dude.
and then just drop.
Just done.
yeah.
Over.
Done.
Yeah.
Nothing
It's
till
What was on
Mother's
last night?
Day.
The Notebook and fucking Castaway last night. I'm down with Castaway.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking well said. And I turned it on. It was that scene where he loses him. He gets mad at him. He hucks him.
Yeah,
And he tries to go to bed. And he's like, "Oh man, that's my boy." Fuck.
You seen
Right,
was
yeah.
it Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's like the scene like that, but with Frank with the rum ham?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's like an episode where he has like a ham that he soaked in rum. Danny DeVito's character, Frank,
Really?
and he like loses them in the water, and the ham's floating away. He's like, no! Like, I think he named them too, and there's like pineapples as eyes. Like,
Is
on
it like Danny DeVito's last season with them? Did I hear something like that?
I don't know. Maybe I've kind of fallen off
Me
on
too,
watching
me
it.
too, me
last-
too.
Probably last couple seasons, but
Who's the creator of fucking Mac?
yeah, I think is it both of them, Mac and the others, not Charlie, the other
dude. Yeah, I think so.
I think it might be.
I think so.
Yeah.
But Mac's the guy who like gained like 60 pounds and then
Yeah.
got shredded as fuck, right?
Christian bailed it.
Dude, that shit is
Christian
nuts.
Method.
bailed it.
I'm gonna go see that shit tomorrow. Vice.
Going to see Vice
Fuck.
tomorrow for sure. Like,
Yeah, I'm going.
Man,
I'm gonna
that's
go
a
see
good
it.
one. I just
I'm
got
gonna-
some movie tickets as
Did you see
stocking
it?
stuffers, so no, I
Oh,
haven't.
fuck, dude. Christian Bale, dude.
So sick.
So of all the movies out right now, is that what you'd see?
That's what I'm going to see. Yeah.
What else is out right now?
fucking
Because I haven't looked it up in a minute, but I'm like, man, what?
That's
I
out.
need
That's all I care about.
Aquaman,
Yeah.
Bumblebee.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how every Transformers movie is. They're like,
Right.
well, maybe this
After
one.
like the first or second one, it's like the Star Wars. Well, I don't want to.
Well,
I haven't
fuck
watched the
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars since like I've seen like the first or second one where he's
Amen.
like racing pods around. I'm
Oh,
like,
The
"Ah,
best
that's all
one.
sucks."
That's the best
That
one.
shit
though.
sucks.
That's the best
Yeah.
one.
That's awful. It's yeah. Okay, just so we're clear. I love Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah.
Episodes 1, 2, and 3. I can't stand.
The first.
Can't stand them.
Oh, and that's the second 3, right?
Yeah, pod racing.
Yeah, I
It gets
love the
confusing.
the old school ones.
Yeah, of course.
And then I just fell off watching them.
Yeah, those other ones. The new
After
ones are
Jar
good.
Jar and
Although
then
they're-
that other one,
Yeah,
I was
no,
like,
no Jar Jar. We don't
Yeah.
need Jar Jar.
I wish he would come back. Jar Jar's secretly tight, right?
just low key.
Right? Like he's like under
He's
the
like
radar.
a WB
tight.
frog.
Yeah, dude.
Nummy
Like, everybody
me.
kind of
It's
likes Jar Jar.
Yeah,
You
he's
like
got a
know
good
him.
heart.
You
Don't
know
that's
him.
not what's wrong with
You
it.
know him. You know.
Oh yeah, Sam, my buddy Sam wants me to point out that Spider-Man is also showing right now, and he called me an asshole. So
Oh, that was.
we'll
nice
have
one.
to reconcile that.
Nice,
Yeah.
Sam. Nice
Figure
language.
that
No,
out.
I've
the
heard really good
holidays.
things about the animated
Oh, I
Spider-Man,
heard-
the Miles Morales.
Oh,
one.
the universe.
I heard it's fucking great, actually.
Spider-Verse one?
Yeah, I've heard really good things.
The video game's crazy. I haven't played it, but as a spectator, it's pretty crazy. I watched Chase, producer
name.
Chase Moore
Name.
play. Yeah, good
Good
name.
name.
Good
Good
guy.
name, strong name.
Yeah, keep
Strong
going.
American
Keep
name.
going, yeah.
I watched him play it for like I don't know, a few days. and
I played it
looked
for
amazing.
about an hour. It was cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
I can't play video games.
The dynamics
But-
looked sick. Like
Yeah, it looks-
looked like almost like Arkham-ish, like Arkham.
Yeah, very much from what I
whatever.
understand.
Yeah.
You played some of that. He was the Batman for a while.
My phone is vibrating.
Your phone.
You can't stunt
Or
Your
my
phone.
anymore.
You just got it for Christmas,
Sorry-
so
sorry,
he's
bro.
like, "Oh,
Sorry, bro.
it's like the first
Yeah.
day of school.
Hey.
He's showing off his
Yeah.
new gear. his
Yeah.
new-
Your shoes are clean for a week.
You know, I got, the, I got
Yeah.
the new boost. You know, not a big deal, bro. You know, not a big deal. Shit,
You're
yeah,
like,
you know.
we need a wide angle for this podcast.
You know.
Just,
Oh man. Well, fuck. What was I just gonna say? My phone just fucked me up.
I don't know.
yeah. What
You-
other movies?
Oh no, dude. I love watching video games.
He does. He'll watch YouTube of watch other people's playing
Video
video
games.
games like Farm Simulator and things.
Yeah, I
like
like watching
Yeah.
stupid games.
That's a
Like
thing,
this guy's
right?
just
That's
like
crazy.
making a farm, and you're like, he's just some dude in Iowa or something. You're like,
Yeah,
this
there's like
guy's-
13-year-old
this
kids
guy's
out there
tight.
that have more money than I'll ever have because they play video games on
And-
Twitch.
Yeah, yeah, and they just
Well,
broadcast
yeah, the
it.
streaming thing.
It's a
is
it's
no
an
joke.
interesting thing, right? To see like people watching other people do something that they could be doing, but
Right.
that, like even for instance to personalize it, we do like I'm on the homie Kyle Avocado Gray's YouTube channel, Ruin Your Day, all the time, and we do a series called Watch, where and like me and him and maybe 1-2 other people will watch battles, pause it, react, make
Talk
fun
about
of
it.
stuff,
Okay.
and like I've gotten several. We'll have 6, 7, 800 people in there a lot of times, and a lot when we're streaming live. And I've gotten hella messages of people being like, "Yo, I can't get my wife to watch a rap battle, but she loves watching you guys watch rap battles."
Yeah.
You know,
That's
It is
tight. I
weird.
feel
It's
like-
a
Yeah.
weird thing.
yeah.
I've gotten into recently a series called Irish People Try, and it's just people from Ireland and they try like American foods and things like that. And
It's just Bill Burr.
Oh
like,
my god, dude!
and it's like
yeah.
they had Irish people try American cookies, and of course for American cookies it was like Mother's,
Yeah,
like,
I'm like,
Okay.
what's an
which isn't
American
really
cookie?
American cookies. That's just
Are
whatever.
Oreos American?
That they didn't try
Right?
Oreos. Maybe not though. Those might be
Probably, I
like
don't-
fucking Swedish.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
probably
I
some
don't know.
rip off.
Who knows?
But it's fun to listen to people like I don't know, just to see what their perspective is on stuff. I guess
That's
so. I get it.
funny.
Yeah, and what they said is like there's because we'll stop and break down lines and do you kind of see it from it's like the DVDs where it's like the director's commentary or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah.
I get that. Like I've seen little clips on like Instagram of people playing Fortnite and they're like, "I'm about to run up on this son of a bitch," and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah.
anticipation.
And there is something about like people who you look up to, a celebrity or rapper, say,
Yeah,
and watching them do regular shit.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or like commentating on stuff you're
Yeah, I
even
guess
into or
even
whatever.
commentators on any sport,
It's
you
just
know, it's
kinda
kind
like-
of similar.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're talking and breaking, you know, the boxing match down as you're watching it.
Because all of
like,
a sudden it makes you relatable,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like people, like for instance, you know, see you or whatever, like rap guy, you know, battles and all this shit. No, you know,
yeah,
but I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
I love doing that with like comedians and fucking all this shit online. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and like when you mention like the sports commentators, when you get somebody like you who, you know, you understand
like-
rap battles and how that
Right.
works, so
my
you're
favorite
able to break
rappers
it
in the same
down.
shit.
Like a listener can appreciate a rap battle, but they don't necessarily get all the intricacies.
Right.
And you know, you can watch a rap battle and understand all the
Yeah,
ins
on
and
some
outs.
Joe
of it.
Rogan,
Yeah.
kind of making it digestible.
Chase likes to watch. He likes to watch people's lives.
way to put me on blast,
is the,
dude.
is the thing. So
Yeah,
he
thanks.
likes to
Yeah.
watch what
Yeah.
people are into and
No,
what they do.
When I compare myself to him, then I get hella depressed. I'm like, oh, I should be fucking doing 100 push-ups
You mean
a day.
social media?
Yeah.
That's that in
Fuck,
a
I'm
nutshell.
a piece of shit.
Yeah. What
Put
you're
down
saying
the
is
candy
is
bar.
hella real though about like, for instance, when I started doing watch previously, like online and stuff, I maintained a very pretty like low key. I don't post too much on any social media or let anyone in, and especially because I battle, it's like I was very chess player about everything. What am I gonna post? I'm not gonna post this. all
Strategic
this.
about it.
Yes, but then when I started doing the watch, I noticed even a lot of people being like, "Wow, I like and respect Illmac's battles or whatever even more, or him as an artist even more. He's way more funny and relatable or smart or whatever." And just from seeing me be me for an hour drinking, making fun of battles like I would without a camera being on, you know, with my friends watching a battle.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, I see who this person is a little more. Like
Yeah.
I could hang out with them.
There's
or
people
whatever,
selling
you know?
out theaters and full-on tours just through stories.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge business. Like,
yeah.
stories are so easy to digest and so addictive.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's cooking a steak. Oh, he's in the pool. Oh, he's playing with his dog. Oh, he's doing a podcast. Or, oh, he's playing a joke on his kids. Oh, now I see what his fucking house looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I see, you know, like all of a sudden you know these people.
People are voyeurs,
And
right? We're voyeuristic. Like we want
Absolutely.
to see
Like,
what's going
get
on with other
invested.
people. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
stories opened up people's lives. Obviously, it's mirrored to what they want you to see.
Yeah,
Right?
more
Like,
curated.
I'll only show you, like, yeah, man, I'm on the elliptical right now. But little did you know I ate 700,000 fucking calories in Butterfingers the night before.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah.
lot.
You know?
Yeah,
But it's same with anybody, right? Like,
Yeah.
you want people to see you in a certain light or whatever.
Right.
So you can, like, that narrative, it's weird.
You know,
it's
so
not real, but it is, and it
It's
can be
like
really real.
reality TV, you know, like they
Yeah.
still kind of curate it and
Mhm.
drive storylines
Totally.
and all. And
Selling
now-
tickets or whatever the fuck
yeah,
you're doing.
Now you don't need a network or a TV deal to have a reality show. Your social network and everything is your personal reality
Yep.
show.
and
in
there's
the
a
world,
fucking
you know?
algorithm, and there's a way to do this, right? I mean, there's a right time to post. Like, there are numbers and statistics that say you should post on Monday at fucking 1 p.m., you know, or whatever the fuck, you know? Like,
Yeah,
it's-
definitely
it's a
depends
weird-
on like who's watching you, you
and
know,
the
'cause,
demographic
Yeah,
and
if
shit.
you have like UK fans or whatever, like
Because you can do, like, Google statistics and, like, all
Mhm.
this fucking
look at
shit.
all your socials,
All
and
your-
see
yeah.
the analytics.
Analytics.
Yeah. I pretty much tweet at 1 a.m.
Right.
Right.
That's it.
Right, it's
After,
on
like-
like getting that real good buzz going.
After, yeah, your fifth
All
IPA.
inhibitions are gone. Like
I
I'm
just have
gonna
a
say this
shit idea,
Yeah.
and I got to
Yeah.
put that out there.
Just hit the fucking vape pen 4 or 5 times, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about at that point.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
even
What did I
feel your
say
feet.
last night?
Yeah, like, all right, analytics.
Right?
I'm just tweeting
Yeah,
analytics.
analytics. I'm all about logistics, baby. I'm killing it over here.
More of a logistics guy than analytics.
I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like a UPS fucking guy. Yeah.
So what do you got going on these days, Il?
Shit, man. Just I'm in town for almost a month. I came up for the holidays and stuff. And then yeah, just some family stuff going on, and then end up booking a show for like early or mid June or January. Like
That's you and only, right?
yeah, me and Only rocking Paris Theater on the 19th, I think. So I was like, oh, I'll just stay for, you know, the holidays through that.
Yeah.
And
Where do you live?
Yeah, I live in LA.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you were here.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up here, born and raised. I moved to LA like 2 years and some change ago.
Nice.
But about 2 years leading up to that, I was kind of back and forth a lot anyway. But
where do you stay down there?
I stay in the valley.
Oh,
in
what's your
Reseda, like
address?
Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Living in Reseda.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
That's that
yeah.
Daniel LaRusso shit.
yeah, Daniel LaRusso.
how do you like it? I'm jealous. I want to go.
It's good. I
We
mean,
start
I
storying
never
more?
put it like this. I never had asthma, and now I do.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
that's LA in a nutshell.
Are you getting
Adult
more shit done?
onset asthma.
Has it helped your career?
Yeah. I mean, I lived in like almost right next door to the studio. Like the person I make the most music with, the reason I moved down there basically is I make a lot of music with my boy Chase Moore.
Good name.
He's a good name, good guy.
Yeah.
He's a he's a producer. I've been working with since '09. And even when I was here for like 2 years, like I said, I'd be back and forth because I was just going and recording with him. And
Yeah.
I'd stay like 6 weeks at a time, come home, go back. And at a certain point, I was like, well, I like broke up with my ex and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I was just like,
It's time to go.
I'm like, I gotta get out of this bubble that I'm in, and it became easier to make music with him. I was making more music out of town than I was here, so I was like, well, he got a new place in Reseda, and I just went and couch surfed for like 6 months, and then ended up getting my own spot
Nice.
or whatever. So
You just got a little apartment or what?
yeah, got an apartment down there with my girl now. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, I was down there.
How far are you from the Comedy Store?
Ooh, I've only been there once. That's in Hollywood. So depending, it isn't that far. It's like about a half hour.
Yeah. You can
about
get
a
there.
yeah, as long as it's not like
That
if,
place
as long
is
as you're not
fucking
going in the
cracking
morning
right now, dude.
on the 101, you're
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah.
Because most traffic the rest of the day is coming back out.
Yeah, my
So-
boy Sean, he plays in a band called Dead Shit. Jesus, Sean Friday, not Dead Friday. He plays in a band called Dead Sarah.
Dead Sarah.
Right? Fucking, he lives in like Silver Lake or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
That shit's
that's
like
right
super
over-
hip, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely on some
That's like on some
Portland
like,
shit.
right?
Now, so do you feel like you've been there long enough to kind of objectively compare life in Portland and LA and what you prefer about the two? Or
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm to be honest, I don't really go anywhere. I mean, I do sometimes,
But you're, like,
I'm
kinda in
not like
your little
week.
area?
Yeah, I'm in my bubble in the studios, like right next door. I'm just making music. So, to answer your question earlier, like it's definitely improved me going down there and everything, especially musically, because the person I create with the most is right there. And the other person I shoot the most content with, Avo, he shoots for my channel. I shoot for his at the same like studio. Like all my Raising the Bars are there. And so I've been able to create a lot more content just being down there, and random other connections have been made. But the air, water, even food, I would say, is definitely preferable up here. But I definitely down there for
What
a reason.
about
Love
vibe though?
that. Vibe? Right now?
Yeah.
Well,
No.
ask
but
the
like,
vibrator.
Right. Yeah. My dog. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rating the vibe.
I didn't expect you
Always
to know that.
rating the
I didn't
vibe.
expect you to know that. But yeah, as the vibrator, does the sunshine help?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Like,
it definitely does.
You wake up like, fuck, I'm gonna go do some shit.
Yeah,
Versus
yeah.
like, fuck, it's raining, I'm gonna smoke a ton of weed and fucking jerk off and go back to bed.
Yeah, instead I'm like, I'm gonna smoke a bunch of weed, jerk off, and then go enjoy
and then,
the sun.
And then go, you're right. Right.
No, yeah, it definitely makes a difference, man. I mean,
'Cause that shit's
fuck,
real.
It just barely started getting kind of cold there, you know? And
It's like 60 in LA right now, right?
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
still
At
sunny
night,
and shit.
it'll get to like 50s or something.
Did the fires
but
affect you?
yeah, just because this new asthma thing is like
It was
I was.
smoky as a motherfucker.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was
I know it
nuts,
was like
right?
that up here too,
Dude,
but like
yeah.
pretty
Well-
much the same time. I feel like.
Well, last year, that kid set the fucking fire in the gorge.
Oh yeah, the
Motherfucker, dude. That
yeah.
shit was bad.
Yeah.
Because I live out in Troutdale, like,
Uh-huh.
or Gresham, but like right there, right at the fucking
Same
base.
thing.
Mouth of the gorge or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And like,
the
God,
gateway to adventure.
That's it, dude. Yeah, the gateway of fun out there. You can go get Toyotas and all kinds of fun shit.
stop at the little outlets right there.
Yeah,
and be on
dude.
your way.
Yeah, man. Go get some Levi's. Fucking
And
tear,
go hiking in
get some
'em.
Pendletons, you know? Get your
Yeah.
woolies. Go tear it up. But dude, that shit is no joke though. Like, because it was hot, you know. In Oregon, you don't typically have air conditioning unless you fucking have a house and whatnot, apartments, you know, whatever. Sleeping with the fans and shit, dude. Fuck, man, my lungs. I was like dying. Like,
Yeah, it's terrible.
fuck, dude.
Yeah, I was hitting my inhaler like all the time, like on the regular. My shit was just like my chest just.
Did
felt
you notice
tight
it like as far as
perpetually.
like if you're recording like your breath and
Yeah, that
ability to
yeah,
rap
it affect that.
and-
I'd definitely have to like hit the inhaler right before recording and
Yeah.
stuff because I could. Chase also has asthma, producer, so it'd be like,
name, good
"Here,
name.
man, you good
Yeah.
name, good guy."
Yeah.
Every time.
But he'd be like, "Man, you need to hit it," because I just breathe in and you would hear just like the screams of
Yeah.
1,000 miniature souls from within
Fuck.
in my lungs.
Did you meet your girl down there?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So a nice little reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck down there, dude. I'm jealous, dude. I'm like, I really, fuck, man. I could go for some SoCal right now and just get
Yeah,
some,
you know, like all the pictures of like LA sunsets and how beautiful it is. Like,
Yeah.
that's from the pollution. That's like
That's why it
the
looks cool.
Yeah, that's what. Like all
Absolutely,
it's
yeah,
all the
yeah,
like
yeah.
particulates and shit.
Right.
in the
Right.
air.
That's why even
But-
here, when it's smoky like it was during the summer, the sunsets look amazing.
Yeah.
But that's not a good thing.
It's not a good, and
No.
that's LA in a nutshell. Looks amazing, actually terrible for you.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah,
Well-
but it's cool. I like it just like I said. I live in a bubble, and then when I do decide to go out, you know, random things happen, random brushings of shoulders and connections and stuff.
Just
so-
run across people. And
Well, there's way
Yeah.
more fucking people,
Yeah,
and there's way more people in the industry. And
Yeah.
you see Larry King at the club.
it's just well,
yeah,
know.
popping bottles,
Yeah.
sparklers.
Do you run into or interact with any of the other like recent like Portland people that have moved down to LA?
who
Not,
else is
not,
down
not
there?
that there's
Yeah,
a
who
ton
else
of them,
has
but like
moved
Trey
down?
Rideau's down there.
He moved down. I
Really?
didn't even know he moved down there.
Um,
I'll
Dod-
definitely link up with
I don't know.
him.
Maybe I'm not supposed to tell anybody he moved down there. I don't know.
Shit.
Dodger's down there,
She
right?
moved back down
I
there.
don't know.
She's
I
back
can't
and
keep
forth,
track.
probably
I-
making music.
she's
with
down there. I
Exile.
don't know. I don't know.
I know she's originally from there. No, I haven't really linked up with them specifically. But I didn't know that they came.
I mean,
down.
I don't know if they're
definitely hit
even-
up Trey. We've been overdue for making some music.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
Same with
Monday.
Dodge.
I hate
Dodgy.
Monday. Yeah.
So
that's
s-
favorite though, right? Right?
No, that's a
Uh,
Manny Monday, but
Damn it.
that's close
same,
enough.
Yeah, same
Damn.
circles.
Damn it.
What are you working on now musically? What do you got in the works?
Man, so I'm a hoarder of my music.
You just have
like,
songs.
I'm a hoarder of stuff.
I got
I'm the like.
Well,
real
I
deal.
grew up with like a house of like a hoarding house.
I didn't know all this.
I grew up in a hoarding house, like when
Like,
that show
legit?
came out, I
Legit?
was like threatening my
Really?
dad and stuff. Like, I'm going to write. We should be on the show.
Shit. What was his like?
It really wasn't him. It was another family member, and it was a thing where it's just kind of domino effect, where it's just a real
What did they keep though?
trap. It was a real bando.
Yeah.
That's-
What was
that's
their
they
big
call
thing
it.
they like to hang on to?
Rats.
Oh fuck. Oh,
You don't wanna get rid of the
fuck.
rats.
Jesus,
Uh,
imagine the shit.
Those could be worth money someday.
Not the pet, not domesticated
Oh.
ones though.
oh fuck.
Free rats.
Just
free.
hanging out. Oh my god.
No,
dude.
yeah, we just had it was a grimy situation, but
Sorry. I didn't
no,
mean
no.
to-
So all that to say is, I think it like manifested into my music.
I was just
My
hoping you were gonna say like
musical.
dolls or something creepy, like. Dad like Barbies.
He hoarded VHS recordings of the show Hoarders.
Yeah. He was in the clowns. We grew up with
Yeah, that's a Sparker Lewis ass joke right there.
Yeah, that is a smart joke. Nah, yeah, I mean, we had like, I don't know, like 8 dogs at one point, and like hella cats and
Yeah,
fish and
yeah.
a cockatoo and
So
all
you're-
this.
so
It was a jungle.
So
you
you're
know?
telling me it smelled really good in your
Oh,
fucking house.
amazing.
Like
Amazing.
real nice.
Yeah, a bunch of kids running around.
Just poopy
It's
diapers and shit
yeah,
everywhere.
gave me character.
Hell
Right.
yeah, dude.
And then it manifested lyrically to where I just hoard my music forever. Last solo project I dropped was Still Standing, and that was a little over 2 years ago. It was like September 2016. I dropped
Are you sitting on like 1,700 songs and shit?
like 16.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Nah, yeah. I mean, there's easily 50 songs that are like could be released in a week or so. You know, it's just a little
Really?
and there's more than that have been started or that I could touch up or whatever. But I dropped like the album with Only. We dropped a little EP, Only in L2, and then before that, me and Gold dropped a collab album produced by Smoke. But
Young Smoke.
yeah. Smoke M2D6. But it's
Motherfucker.
been a minute since I dropped a solo project, and that's the thing is I always justify because I'm like, well, I did some battles, and also like I have this Raising the Bar series, which kind of keeps me, in fans' faces and doing the watch and everything. So it hasn't really seemed like I've been on a hiatus because I've been still
You're
giving
putting
different
out
types of content. Yeah, and like the rap off, the cartoon thing. But I really want to put out a project or two like top of 2019. I think what I'm going to start off with, aside from just dropping the Raising the Bar audios, is like a patron only project, because I have all these like subdivisions of songs. I'm like, I may or may not ever drop this, but I like it, but I don't know. So I think I'll drop like a little EP that's only for my
Like a
people on
Wu-Tang Martin
Patreon.
Shkreli
Yeah,
situation.
Yeah,
No, it's a good- I mean,
exactly.
Everybody's fucking doing that shit.
Yeah, and then
I don't know about
follow it
everybody.
Well, a
up with
lot of
another
people.
project.
Make it like an exclusive thing.
Yeah,
You're in the
I'm
fucking
gonna,
club.
I'm gonna drop a couple of those
Right?
this year.
Give them some like real quality shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then I have this
Because if
one that's
people are giving you
more-
money, I mean that's a big fucking deal.
No, exactly.
You
And
know,
I'm like,
like, it really
I
is.
don't really I'm not consistent enough even for my patrons. I appreciate you guys if you guys are
I
watching.
know how you
It's
feel.
hard, though. It is- it's
I
hard,
just
man.
fall off, and
You have to be
they won't
like
hear
on
from me
this
for
shit,
months. You
you
know,
know? Yeah.
I was like up at like $700 or something a month for a couple months, and then I dropped way down, but like 100 and change. I think I'm back up a little bit because I've been posting some of my podcast up on there before we drop them. But yeah, I just need to be more consistent. But I felt like this last year or two of hoarding has given me enough content to now 2019's the sort of
Yeah.
releasing it into the wild, letting
So,
my babies go.
Kind of like the show Hoarders when they come clean out a single room, clean out that room,
Exactly.
Completing
That's
the
the name of
metaphor.
the first project.
Boom.
Clean that room.
clean that room. Let
So
it go.
you and I are going to book some time here.
Yes.
Do you have any insight for our listeners and viewers as to what we'll be working on while you're here?
Yeah, so basically I already have like the 4 or 5 song EP pretty much on deck to release for Patreon, my patrons. And then aside from that, I just have some loose ends for the next project, which is like the one I'll release probably publicly. Probably that I'll release to the masses or whatever. And it's like a lot of it is like 2-3 part songs where it's like songs on some Queen shit, like
That's
mashed
cool.
together,
That's
you know,
fucking
because I'm
cool.
like, not everything has to be, for one, there's not RIP the third verse.
Right.
That's not even a thing
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, unless you're Aesop Rock, there's no third verse anymore.
Yeah, it's attention spans,
Yeah, unless you're rapping about your cat, or some shit.
There might not even be an end hook anymore. It's just like
Yeah.
the song's over.
Yeah, yeah.
Go to the next one.
Yeah. So I've like kind of taken that logic. I'm like, well, I have certain starts of songs and all these. I'm like, there's a lot that cover similar ground. I'm just gonna queen them together. You know what I mean? And so I'll be working on some loose ends for that.
I like
for the
that.
next
I like that idea.
project.
Like
Yeah.
put out like a 3-part thing,
Yeah.
like on the Patreon or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck. And yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, there's no rules anymore.
Yeah,
So,
versus like, hey, I'm giving you 4 or 5 songs. Just give them like a fucking complete, like, kind of cool thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
And people are into long form things these days.
yeah.
Really
I'ma do
are.
it
Like,
all.
with podcasts and all that shit. Like, obviously I talk about Rogan a lot, but like that 3-4 hour thing you wouldn't think works, but people are fucking into that shit.
Yeah, I was
It's that
talking.
whole glimpse into your fucking life thing. Like,
Even talking with Ava, I was talking about like, oh, my watch, like talking about analytics. I'm like, my watch time has gone up, blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, You want your average watch time to go up. Release longer content. People watch it, like especially if it's
Dude,
interesting
people are-
enough.
I mean, everybody's on their fucking phones.
Mm-hmm.
Your break at lunch when your boss isn't looking.
Yeah.
When you're driving in your fucking car, you're listening to podcasts now.
You're on the
Everything's synced.
elliptical.
Everything.
All that
Every
shit.
fucking thing. Walking down the damn street,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's crazy. And it's true. Like if the content's good, then people will fucking listen to it.
Mhm.
And obviously, people like you. You've been around for a while. And yeah, it is cool.
Yeah.
It's fucking interesting how that shit's changed. Like from
Yeah.
like
It's weird. I don't think it's healthy.
the
but
vine, like
you
attention
might as well
spans have
take
gotten
advantage of it,
shorter,
right?
But like I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is a juxtaposition where it's like attention span's gotten shorter, but someone will still listen to a 2-hour podcast,
Right.
Like a 2-hour piece of content, an
Absolutely.
hour long. So
Clean the
I don't
house,
know,
I
it
put
goes
it
both-
on, or
yeah.
whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Well, but people that have jobs where they can listen to things, it's probably got to be a high percentage of
yeah,
the
Desktops
consumption
and
is
shit.
For
through
sure.
that.
Everybody's
And
got
in the
headphones
car,
on.
obviously.
why listen to the radio and some that is the advantage of where we're at, right? So for all the downfalls of attention spans and referential intelligence becoming the thing, it's well, I get to choose my entertainment now. Like I'm not gonna listen to the same pop song 6 times for 2 hours or whatever.
Right.
I'm gonna listen to this podcast about this specific niche thing,
Right.
Like like MMA or battle rap or
Totally.
whatever, like what types of pizza or cigars. Like there's literally something for anyone
Yeah,
out there. So
everything.
now we're able more to just access
And
that.
then you can just switch instantly to the fucking Tenacious D,
Yeah.
or whatever. We were listening to Tenacious D.
Yeah, don't
before
put them
this.
on. How
I won't, but it was fantastic.
how's the battle career going? You retired yet?
No. Well, see, basically, battle. Okay, first of all, let me bust a myth. Battle rappers don't retire, no matter what they tell you. Like, they'll be back.
Yeah.
They'll
You
be
can't
back.
stay away, right?
Does everybody
Yeah.
know still do that shit? EK, do you know
Yeah,
that guy?
Yeah. I actually battled him as part of like it was called the Caddy Royale. It was a Royal Rumble
Okay.
style battle
Okay.
last year. So it was, I think around July or August last year.
I like EK. Dude.
Yeah, it was August. We battled.
Yeah. How was it?
In a 6-man battle. Well,
Jesus.
but it ended up being 5. Someone no-showed.
Okay.
So it was a 5-man battle.
Such a weird.
Everyone took a turn, so it was like down. We drew for order,
Right.
and then it goes down the line, 3 rounds, and he was amazing in it.
He's good.
It
He's a talented
definitely
kid.
came down to me and him
Yeah.
for a legitimate winner.
He's good
but
at that
an
shit. dude.
illegitimate winner was named because of some like online voting antics or
Ah,
whatever.
Really?
But he was amazing.
It's
like,
such a scene. Like I don't want to say weird because that's not the right. But man, it's impressive. Like
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck you guys do is fucking impressive, dude.
Thank you.
It really is. Like, what the fuck? You just pull that shit out of your ass? I mean, I know some of it's rehearsed and you write, and there is times for that stuff, but like, especially the teams thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't done a teams battle in a long time, but there's this new demand for it, and I've been against it because the way battle rap has changed, like it, I came up in the era of it being freestyle, and now it's
like
all written.
kids are written,
And
right?
and more often than not, 98% of the time, it's not judged, which I'm not against because there was never a right judging system.
A
Like
fair
the
way to
5
judge.
drunk
Like,
people
let's
there
let's
who
hear it for
may or may
yeah.
not know people involved. Like there was never a real good way of judging, and it was always argued once the footage comes out, it looks different on camera. So how do you judge all these things? So I get it. Now it's set up like a fight card where it's
Yeah.
like, instead of a tournament, it's just you battle this person, you battle this person. Everyone battles one person. They have like a month and a half.
What's the adrenaline
So-
dump with that shit? Is it pretty?
It is. It's
It's
different because it's gambling, like you
right.
you could
It is.
choke.
It's that same thing.
Also, I freestyle, so I
It's like
definitely
Texas
prepare.
Hold'em tournament or something.
Yeah, you get that adrenaline rush to
Totally.
gamble because
Totally.
I prepare, but I also go off script, because of coming from the freestyle era.
And plus, you gotta like adapt to a situation, right? If
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
gets thrown
Well,
at you.
actually, in that Rumble, the
Mhm.
battle with me and EK, and it was this dude Marv won, Real Deal, Frank Stacks. think that's in me. 5 of us. When I started, it was like my second or third round. In the venue, all of a sudden, right above us, this huge industrial like air conditioner vent came on.
Right.
But it was one of those things where I'm like, all right,
Right.
and like you see everyone on camera looking
You
up,
gotta adapt.
and then
Just
to
spoil them, just ruin the moment.
Yeah. But I was about to go into my prepared material, but just that, and then some be like, "Oh, they coming with the stupid rounds."
Right.
Like my last rebuttal was so hot, even the venue was like, "Cool it down," and the crowd just goes because I'm able to do that.
Right.
Where a lot of people aren't. EK's another one that's amazing at that, but
Dude, yeah. wonder what
not
that kid's
everyone
up
can
to.
do that though. You know.
Last I talked to him, he was working at like a hotel.
You
or
should give him a
hospital.
call
Does
maybe
he
one
live
day.
out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
get him on there.
I love EK.
Yeah,
We
he's a great guy.
we had a crazy summer
he was
together.
Frying during
Oh, yeah.
during the
Oh.
Royal Rumble.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's why
Oh, yeah.
I give myself the
EK
because his
loves
first round
drugs.
his first round
Straight up.
amazing. And then you could just see the cumulative effect of the shrooms. Where
Dude,
he's like
he ate-
second and third
and
round,
the
just his
Xanax
eyes.
and the fucking other dude. And this
Yeah.
is not putting him on blast.
No, of course.
I love
He's
EK.
proud of it.
Oh yeah.
He's a proud psychedelic user.
Oh man, dude, me and that dude. Okay, we did like a 6-week summer tour together. It was like me, him. It was the Chi-Chi's tour, right?
Okay,
So
yeah,
Slave and
yeah.
Josh and the whole thing, and
Mhm.
like Zone and everybody. But EK and everybody. Oh, Nabahi. Do you know that name?
No.
He's
I don't
like
think I
a
do.
New Mexico cat, and his cousin owned like a casino, had like big like native money type thing.
Mhm.
He was like funding this whole thing, and it was fucking mayhem. Like
Yeah.
this is the first day of the tour. We're in the fucking Sprinter. We had to go to the airport for some fucking reason, and Nabahi goes, "You want some shrooms?" Yeah, that's
There it is.
That's the whole base of the whole fucking summer.
That's the synopsis.
Jesus Christ, dude! Like,
I can only imagine.
Holy
with
fuck.
that group in
Ah,
general.
It was nuts. I mean, you've done. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
You've done the grind and
Yeah.
the tours and the hip hop shit, but man, that was something special. That was like people were going to jail. Dude tried to hang himself once he was in jail. Like sending pictures of them on the res with all of our merchandise with AK-47s. Crazy shit, right? Like
Sounds like a good time.
fucking
classic
They're-
tour.
They were
Classic.
fucking. They tagged the Alamo. What the fuck? You know, like
Remember,
people were going.
never forget.
John the driver, this shitty guy from Hawaii. He was
Just a shitty guy.
He was a shitty white dude from Hawaii. He was a piece of shit. Fuck that guy.
Yo, see, look,
But it's
here's
fine.
the thing,
He's a piece
right?
of shit.
Here's the thing for people that's never been on tour.
Fuck
He
that
might
guy.
have been a cool guy
He lost
prior
his
to
shit.
tour.
He lost his shit. He got
Shit
all drunk
gets
and-
way different
He
on
got
tour.
drunk
You
in
have a
Arizona.
roommate for a month. You
Dude,
know,
oh my god.
relationships change.
Right, right, right.
Fuck
On the
that
road.
guy. But for whatever reason, he was just like, he liked me, but it was like he was jealous of me. I don't know what the fuck it was. Yeah, bro, I
you
know
got
I'm
Chase.
fat. I know
Strong
I'm
name.
fat. Fuck. Jesus. He's just like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just a dick.
That's an
And
interesting thing to be jealous about.
It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it was weird. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, because I had good shows, or you know what I mean. I'm not trying to do that shit. But there was a weird dynamic going there. There was a
Right.
weird male alpha thing going on there that was strange. But that dude got what he fucking deserved because he got hella drunk in Arizona and kicked out a fucking old famous fucking hotel in Arizona, like kicked out the fucking, what is that, stained glass doors, and like went to jail and like tried to beat up the cops and shit, and then they fucking beat him with soap and shit, broke his ribs in jail and kept
Beat
him
him
there.
with in
Like in jail and like kept him there for like 3-4
with
weeks.
soap?
Dude, I don't
Like I heard it doesn't bruise.
Yeah, something weird. Maybe not soap, but they
It's
were like
the myth of hitting
they were-
someone with a bag
It
of
cleans
oranges.
But there-
as it bruises.
There was like this fucking, I guess like that classic like the cameras don't fuck, you can't see here, and they like beat his ass, dude. Like because he was just a loudmouth, like
No.
one of those dudes, you know.
Yeah.
It's like fuck, man.
I'm not a big fan of most,
Shit
of
was-
most authorities, but karma will catch you.
Karma's a
I
bitch,
don't know
dude.
about much about that guy, but karma
It
will
doesn't
catch
matter.
you.
I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like EK's got so much footage from that shit too, like because he was filming it all.
That's fire.
You'll have to
Anyways.
hit up EK for that footage.
Ew.
Yeah, footage.
Sorry.
No, it's
Couple
it's like
beers deep, I
those. You know
can't
when you
talk.
take a photo now, sometimes if you hold it, it shows like 2 seconds.
Little
That's
video
footage.
footage. You're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Footage of a photo.
Oh man.
But-
Anyways, sorry that just put me down memory lane.
No, it's all good. EK, yeah, was. Oh, my boy Fredo was frying too during the Royal Rumble, where
Jesus
EK
Christ.
is frying. Fredo had already battled, so he's frying. And then I just remember looking over. I know I'm like, this fool EK is tripping during the battle. I could see the waves.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I look over at my boy Fredo, like 5 times during the battles, he just looks at me with the most like dumbstruck, like deer in headlights, like, I'm frying right now. I just kept saying, I know. You told me. I'm trying to think of a rebuttal right now. Like, I get it. But that's just wild. Like, Dirtbag Dan, he has that
Yeah,
battle
I was
where
just gonna say that.
he was
Yeah.
frying on mushrooms. That sounds like the worst thing in the world.
The
to me.
worst.
To take shrooms that are, I make myself cry.
I can't
most
even-
time on shrooms.
I
Like,
can't even have 2
like,
beers and go on stage.
I have
Like-
I have a 10, 15, 20-minute period almost every time on shrooms where I just think like, oh, like I could be a better person, a better brother, a better, and I just have to like go to the tent or wherever to like cry, to bathroom, where I'm at, where I can get some solitude to like cry for a second and then just get distracted by like a light and then I'm good.
You're
Right.
back
Good to
in
go.
there. Yeah.
So transferring that same energy to like, okay, I'm gonna take shrooms, make myself very vulnerable, not be able to understand sarcasm or subtleties at all, and stand in front of a group of people who are laughing at me while another person's whole goal is to make me look dumb
Yeah.
in front of everyone.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't smoke before I drink. I don't like. I mean, but
Yeah.
before I battle, do shrooms, none of that. Like that
I'm the
sounds
same, like,
stressful.
When I gotta do like a show, especially if it's like, you know, like I play drums, right? So like, alcohol slows me the fuck down. I can't.
Yep,
I'll
yep.
miss my cues. I'll miss my hits. Like, especially up tempo shit or whatever the fuck. Weed, I can't smoke weed anymore. But it sucks. I guess
Now weed sucks, right?
it fucking sucks, dude. I want to smoke weed so bad. But yeah, I have to be like straight sober for that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I like to have just a couple little drinks,
but I'm just like I'm so
I
critical.
don't have like a timing. I gotta.
Yeah. I'm
just
so like, especially if I'm
spit my
like
shit.
backing someone, like say you, right? I just learned your fucking songs and shit. Last thing you want me to do is come fucking just run over your set.
Yeah,
You know, it's a
yeah.
conversation, right?
Gotta be
Like,
crisp,
especially if
yeah.
you're backing someone or playing over beats or some shit.
Right.
You know, you got to know when to fucking lay out and fucking, you know, all that shit.
Ill,
Makes sense.
Adam Zenke, who's watching, asks
Hey, that's my man.
if psychedelics have helped with making material anyway. So have they helped you creatively?
I'm
Ever?
gonna be honest. So I haven't taken. So I have a big ass bag of shrooms at the crib, and I plan on microdosing them. I just haven't yet. But psychedelics are a thing I definitely respect. So I don't like to. I don't like to go into a shroom experience, most of the times in civilization. I like to be like camping, like where I don't have to deal with running into people I trust only around.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Your circle of
and,
trust.
And I like to just see nature and stuff, right? I've taken shrooms like in the city plenty of times, but that's my preference. But also if I'm like going through things or I'm in a weird space, emotion, or I'm not happy with certain aspects of, I don't know, my battle career or music career or something going on in my life with a friendship or anything, I don't
Yeah.
like to take shrooms because
Fuck no.
if things are already good, I find things to nitpick at, and that's when I get those emotional things. But it has value because I always end up coming out of it with like, okay, that's this feeling that I have in my subconscious
it's
that
great.
kind of
Like,
unlocked, you know?
I like to think of it as like it cleans the fucking cobwebs out.
Yeah.
It really forces you. It's a mirror.
Yeah.
Like really forces you to identify all the bullshit that you feel. Like,
Yeah, it's an
there's a
altered
reason
state.
why we all feel this way.
Yeah.
We choose to do all the things that fucking fuck us up, and we're
There's
all
a-
aware of it. But dude,
There's
I
a
mean,
value
even
in
weed does
altered
it, though.
states,
Even
period.
weed,
Yeah,
weed is very.
I've gone like on weed, like sobriety trips off weed and all that, and been like, I got a really good handle on everything, and then like smoked weed, and then realized like, damn, I was a dick in that interaction last
Totally.
week. Damn, I was a dick. Like I
Weed's
thought I
great
was.
for that,
I thought I
though.
was just on point, and then when I sobered up, being like, yeah, that was real. And it's the same thing with like mushrooms and everything. So all that to say, I haven't done it in a while, but I've definitely gained something. Altered states in general give me real good perspectives on, and that contributes to my art, you know.
That makes
And
sense.
making music in general.
Yeah.
Like before I battle, most of the times I'll get, when I'm memorizing my material and stuff, I'll get super drunk one night and go over my material. One, because I'm like, if I can get through it now, then
Yeah,
I got it
yeah.
memorized. But two, because I listen, I have a different ear. I'm like, oh, that is like nerdy, or that isn't a cool cadence, or that's a little too rigid. I need to loosen up, you know?
Right.
And then when I sober, I'm like, that's true. Not that loose, though, the way I recorded that voice memo when I was drunk.
Right.
But looser, yeah. And same thing with weed. Like, I'll look at something from a little bit more of an analytical point of view, like, maybe I shouldn't say I should go this way or whatever. So I think there's definitely a value in altered states in general, you know? It's like seeing a different perspective. So, yeah. Hallucinogens, mushrooms specifically, has definitely contributed to like my music and in outlook in general.
Yeah.
You know.
I have a very limited experience with psychedelics, but the one I have done mushrooms, and I think the main thing that I've taken away from it is that it makes normal thing. You find the humor in regular stuff.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that I've gotten from
Mhm.
my experiences there, is just finding funny shit that wouldn't be funny otherwise. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yo, the classic
Right.
quote with what you're saying. Well, I'm sitting around the campfire on a camping trip with Gold, some other sand people, myself. But Gold specifically, we're sitting around the campfire. Like it's the second day where we pop shrooms again, and like it's kind of the quiet phase where it's like kind of tripped out and there's a
Yeah.
little bit of a lull for a sec.
Yeah.
And like we're just eating snacks and stuff and sitting around the fire, and Gold just starts cracking up. I'll never forget it. And he's like, and I was like, what? And he goes, just doing human shit, you know, sit down in the chair, drink something, get up, go get a snack, sit down, walk around for a sec.
Stoke
sit
the fire.
And it's funny, and
he's
you're-
like,
and you're
just
laughing.
do human
Yeah.
shit. He's
Yeah.
like, just superhuman shit for no reason, and I'm just like dying. Like,
Yeah.
like what are we doing?
And
We're
those
just
moments are
eating
so
like watching.
those
a
moments
fire.
are, for lack of a better word, fucking precious.
Yeah.
Those times you can never recreate those times.
Yeah.
And with specific friends too. Like
Yeah.
it sounds like Gold's kind of like your ABBA to me. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like we share this. We're brothers.
Yeah, I'm glad he's not here.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, totally. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit. But it's the fact that I can say that is he's my fucking brother.
No, for
you know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah.
And it's like we have like those weird moments. Zone 2, we have like weird psychedelic moments.
Mhm.
Like one time we were in Hawaii and we were playing a festival
For example.
and we took acid, right? And all of a sudden we're in this YMCA bathroom just turning on showers. And and just laughing. Like and if anybody walked in, they'd be like, "What the fuck? These,
Why are you guys
you guys are
in
fully
here
dressed."
turning showers on with all these naked old men?
Dude, there was no one in there. It was like middle of the night and shit.
Oh,
But we
okay.
were just like,
I thought the YMCA bathroom just came with a naked old guy.
was-
They're just
yeah,
in there
yeah,
waiting.
just drying their nuts on a fucking.
Just forever drying their nuts.
Fucking- yeah. That shit's fucking awesome. I haven't done psychedelics forever, but
But I haven't done it in, man.
I'm scared.
a
I mean,
year-
I
a
got so
year or
much
two.
going on right now. It would probably be just like,
That's where I've been.
fuck.
That's where I've been the
be
last like
scared.
year or two.
You can
I
go
haven't done it.
years though between doing mushrooms, and it's like fine. Like
Yeah.
you're never like, man.
That's
No, it's never a
Right,
thing.
yeah.
It's just when it feels right, you do
That's
it.
it. That's
Exactly.
it. That's it.
I've
Yeah.
had some good times with IME, except for the fact that I don't know, he's too deep of a thinker for me. So we get into these modes where he's like, dude, we just live in these boxes. And I was like, shut up. Will you quit with that shit?
You're like, look at this light.
I hear a train and I think it's a boat. That's fun.
That's where I'm at.
Right,
Dude,
right,
have,
right.
have we ever done mushrooms together?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think
either.
so.
I don't.
New Year's a couple years ago, but you were occupied
Yeah, that
by
little stupid
a little thing.
little, so that was
It's
over.
like I was like the I am me of an exchange on that same camping trip I'm talking about, but it was like the first night when we shroomed.
Right.
And Ethics sitting across from me is like 6'6" Skeletor looking guy. And he's like staring at the fire and I'm staring at the fire. And then I like kind of looked at him and all of a sudden I started feeling this energy and I'm like, yo. And I started having a conversation telepathically with him. I don't even remember the conversation, but I was tripping. I was like, we're fucking communicating.
That's
like,
fucking awesome.
That's
awesome.
I'm hearing it back.
I'm
Like,
jealous. Yeah, that's great.
And then like, I was then I verbalized it at one point. Like it went on for a couple minutes and my mind was blown. Like we're actually doing this. Like we have to document this. Like we can do this. And I'm thinking like, oh, so I'm like, man, that was crazy or something like that.
I'm a
And he's
firm
like,
believer that everybody should take one hit acid or
you got to.
one dose of mushrooms. Just nothing crazy.
Even if it's involved.
Just-
not
Yeah.
involved.
You're not gonna hold them down and
but
force it.
imagine if like everybody on planet Earth fucking tripped once in their life. It would change the whole fucking world.
Yeah.
Like it really would. Like it would put so much shit in perspective.
69.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I think
fucking beautiful time.
50% of my time on mushrooms is that tree moving?
Am I tripping?
It's not moving.
That's
Wait.
a great place to be, though.
yeah.
Fuck, man. I mean, the tree's talking to me. That's awesome. That's a great
I've
day.
gotten that off of like wine, like drinking wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like verbalized it.
Same with, like,
yo, like we're having this conversation. This
Yeah.
what, and he was like, "What?" And he just looked at me like, "What are you talking?"
He
about?
didn't get any of it.
And all of a sudden, like I wanted to cry. Like I felt
Shit,
like
bro.
this. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like
Edibles, too.
Yeah, fuck edibles.
Fuck edibles, man. A high
Fuck
dose of edibles will fucking ruin you.
Yeah,
I've had a
and
bad.
These
I've
fools
had
got
bad
us spoiled
times.
now.
Are we
It's
talking
like-
about weed now?
We're talking about weed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because it can be very psychedelic. Like a high
yeah,
dose.
Yeah.
100 fucking
I've
milligrams.
had a psychedelic trip off of like, see, people have it. They're spoiled now because they can go to dispensaries and it's all like this many. It's all measured out and all this shit.
To a
That shit was
degree.
rolling the dice when I was eating.
Right,
edibles.
right.
It was like made by your friend's weird hippie mom,
Totally.
or like your friend who you trust way less, and you didn't know what was in what. You could
Fucking
eat one cookie,
one
not feel
square
anything
brownie.
2 hours, and then eat like a crumb and just trip.
And you're
balls
face
because
down
it
on the
all
living
got-
room floor. Yeah, yeah.
Spinning
never
through the
trust.
universe.
Praying
Like,
for it to
just-
go away.
Yeah, I was like, my friend's gonna
Oh,
kill me. Like
fuck,
I've had an
yeah.
edible trip where it's like I
Oh,
was just
that's
with a
bad.
close homie and I'm like,
That's bad.
yo, I think he's like sexually attracted to me and wants to do
Oh.
stuff to me and kill me. Like,
Oh.
or maybe that was
Oh.
mushrooms.
That's
No.
bad. That's a bad trip. It's a bad trip.
It's the worst.
Yeah, the really intense reflective ones. I mean, they're good.
Yeah,
But,
I always
like,
pull something from it, but they're rough
they're
while you're
rough,
in it. When you're
dude.
in it,
The last time I took a big fucking dose of weed, it was very intense.
Yeah.
Like it was so self-reflective, and it was positive in some regards, but it was pretty negative too.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it really was. My narrative was real fucking dark, and it was just like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, you can change this shit and blah 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 and all that stuff, but fuck, bro, you gotta love yourself a little bit, man. You
Yeah.
know, and I did get that out of it, but it was intense. There was
Yeah.
like a 3-4 hour period. I was sitting, you know, I was newly dating my girl, and she was asleep, and I was in the bedroom or living room by myself, and it was just like that shit hit, and it was so intense. Like I
Mhm.
probably ate 150 milligrams or whatever the fuck it was. Like it was one of those like, again, Buddy made these brownies that were like straight up space brownies. They fuck you up. Like,
Yeah, the
I
homemade
ate the whole thing,
edible
and it was just
recipe
like-
is never consistent, man.
dude, it was like 4 a.m, and I was still just like I was spinning. You know,
Mhm,
like when you're
mhm.
spinning on weed still, and it's just like your brain is just in that loop of like, and you can't do anything in that moment.
No, yeah.
But it's the same thing. Like I need
Even
to be
you're,
a better
like,
brother
telling
to my
yourself-
brother. I
right.
need to fucking.
You're even
be-
telling yourself like it's just the weed, it's just the weed, but that doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
doesn't help. Yeah.
All you need is a big giant box of Cheez-Its,
Especially-
and that's about all you can do.
Especially when you're like a
Oh, yeah.
you're a seasoned weed guy or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And that shit
That's what fucked
can
me up
still
about
fuck you
edibles,
up,
like
dude.
I would get the worst crazy highs, but it was at the height of like I'm smoking like an
Right.
eighth to the face a day,
Just
you
blunts.
know, or
Yeah,
just blunts
not a
all
problem.
day, like
Right.
an eighth a day, solo, a quarter between me and like. And like flexing it, like smoking more than I need to,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
to like
Right,
it's like
right.
competitive,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yep.
And that's and we had it in abundance, you know, we're selling it and shit.
Yep.
And back when that was a thing,
Right.
and but then being humbled by the edible, man, like that shit'll humble you. Like, I smoke all day, and then I eat like a cookie. I'm like sinking in the couch, and I'm like, oh, my best friend wants to kill me.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
what am
And
I
this is
gonna
never
do?
gonna end.
Oh, this movie's
Right,
sick.
right.
Wait, I'm gonna
Right.
die.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suck as a human.
It gets into every part of you somehow, and it's just
the body how it hits you. That's what it is. It disarms you. So you're
Yep.
like, oh, I'm relaxed.
Yep.
Ah.
And then all of just it
and
that
then
motherfucker will come.
let your
on.
guard down.
because it's like when you smoke, you get that for a split second, maybe when you just smoke. But the edibles disarm you first. They kind of massage you.
It's a different
And
thing.
you kind of relax, and then they whisper in your ear, "You're a shitty human."
You're
and
a
you're like,
piece of
"What? I'm a shitty
shit."
human?" Like, it
Like I called
lulls
my
you
mom
into like
today,
a
what the
false
fuck?
sense.
It's all, hey man, sit back.
Yeah.
This is gonna be
Yeah,
cool.
no, this is gonna be
You're
all
gonna be awesome.
die.
You're gonna flow
You're
through
gonna
this.
die and disappoint everyone.
Yeah,
You
you're
piece
gonna
of
die
shit.
naked in
Yeah,
cold
and
water.
alone.
You're gonna murder yourself from the inside.
Fuck.
Yeah, so fuck edibles, you know
Yeah,
what I
fuck
mean?
that shit. Yeah, I'm good on it, dude. I really am. Like, yeah, it's. Anyways, but there is a time and a place for them, and they are
Yeah.
good. It is good to take a heroic dose of fucking weed sometimes.
Yeah,
It
I
really
agree.
is. Like,
I agree.
It's the same thing as like it can be very fucking similar to a large dose of mushrooms. Like it really can.
Yeah,
And it's weird because it's fucking weed.
yeah,
You're like, this is weed, and I'm fucked up.
definitely.
And I like, yeah, it's a trip.
Most of my weed
It's a
consumption nowadays is like just when I'm drinking and I like hit the blunt once or twice, but it's like those like the small hits, like the like, oh yeah, oh it's past
yeah,
me
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Like you almost like
Yeah.
dodge the pedal.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Get it out.
Yeah,
Get it
yeah.
out.
Take
here.
it.
Just one and gone.
Yeah, the
yeah.
backwood. Take
See,
it.
I just can't do weed, man. I can't do it.
Can't
It doesn't.
do weed.
It doesn't work
Do
for me.
weed.
Yeah, it's doing it when it's me. Trust me, that's doing weed.
You do
Because
weed.
that doesn't matter. It's over.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't have conversations. I can't
Yeah.
work. I can't function. I can't watch things. It's just my night's over.
Yeah, I've definitely had those where I'm like, I'm buzzing, I'm feeling good. Boom, and I hit some weed, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna get sick. This is all.
Yeah, I
Oh,
hate that.
nope, I need to go home
I hate
and
that.
put something on to distract me that I'm not gonna pay attention to, just to drown
But
out.
weed and booze is a weird combo.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
a
weird.
balancing
Like
act.
sometimes it works.
Yeah.
It's juggling.
Yep.
And sometimes it just goes left on you.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not a good combo if you're inexperienced.
Mm.
You'll end up
Yeah,
It's not. You're
in
right.
the bathroom.
It's not a good like.
especially if you're really drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will
And then you're
fuck
like,
you
oh, I'll
up.
smoke.
I'll
weed."
just hit it one
That's a little
time.
crossfade.
And
Boop.
you whoop.
Everything starts spinning. It's
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
Yeah. You're
But
sleeping
if-
on the
it's
toilet.
like the beer liquor thing. Where like if you smoke first, and like because I've gotten that where I'm like, oh, I'm a little too high. Psh, drink a little bit, kind of evens it out. Like, oh no, I got confidence.
Right. That's like
again.
with cocaine
I
too,
got
right?
confidence. Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Speaking of, I mean, what's up?
Hey, you
No,
know.
no.
Couple beers, a little booger
Yeah.
sugar. I'm fucking on the road.
Yeah, we-
Let's go drive. I'm ready to go.
That particular narcotic is definitely not for me.
Have you
Yeah.
you never fucked with that shit?
No.
right?
I'd never fucked with it all my life until about
L.A. o'clock.
no, until my tour with Mike Bogan. But it wasn't Mike. It wasn't Mike. That's like a misleading statement. But I hadn't done
Disclaimer,
it.
it was
I've
Bogan.
never done coke all my life until a few years ago. And it was, like I just never anything that wasn't like from the earth, like alcohol, weed, mushrooms. I never did acid either.
Yeah, fair.
I was like, I'm like, I want earthbound,
Yeah,
narcotics, drugs in general only. And then I was like, I had just turned 30, I think, and yeah, I was like, well, fuck it. I'm 30. I don't think I'm gonna get addicted to this shit because I didn't never do that shit because of like my family history. Like my dad, specifically, ever since I was super young, was very open with his drug use and things.
Really?
And
Yeah.
yeah, like he sobered up like a year or two after I was born completely, but like there was a lot of
But he didn't
like
hide
he would
it.
go. Well, it was a thing where he just leveled with me. I mean, like I said, he sobered up when after like I don't know, might have been 2 or 3 or something completely, but it was a thing where as I was going through school and everything, he just tell me a lot of stories like I did this. You know, he was like the guy who would go collect money for like the dealer because the dealer would give him, you know, a couple grams or something. Like, hey, this dude owes me money. He doesn't have it. Fuck him up or do some, you know, bring me back evidence. You whatever. And he's like, that's where I got with it, you know. And there's a million crazy stories, but he never was like, don't ever do like on some parent shit. My dad was a young parent. My dad was 18 when he had me. When he had me, first ever. When my mom had
The
me.
marvel.
She was,
I
they
know.
were both young.
Modern medicine.
We're expecting.
Yeah,
What?
right?
What?
He identified as having me.
Yeah, we have an
But-
ultrasound today.
It was actually my mom. But
You have an ultrasound today. I'm going.
sympathy pains are a real thing.
Yeah, I gained 20 pounds because of my girl. No, you like to eat, you fat fuck. Shut up.
Yeah, take responsibility for
Right.
yourself.
That's me right
But-
now, dude. My girl's pregnant, and I'm having a
Yep.
kid and shit. And
Yep.
like, fuck, man, I'm back to my heaviest, you know? And there's no fucking excuse. It's all bullshit. Like, I'll take full responsibility
Right.
for it. I've ate all the fucking calories, and that's the why I fucking look this way. But it's like, it's hard. It is hard.
I feel you.
It's
I
hard.
feel you, yeah.
You know?
I'm like one of the. I'm not kind of like one of the heaviest I've been. I mean, I'm like I blame new asthma, but I can only do that for
But
so
it-
long.
but
I'm like
right.
I've had inhalers. I can go.
There's
you
a
know?
24-hour gym in my apartment.
Yeah.
I don't have to fucking
Yeah.
eat everything she wants or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck. And it's like, but it's this comforting thing. And,
Of course.
you know, we're
But
both.
sympathy eating and shit during pregnancy is a real thing. I think
it
most
is.
fathers
I think it is.
gain weight during.
There's something to be said. And, like, the hormone thing. There's, like, this weird transfer, I think, of, like, energy between me and her and all this shit. And it's like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, she's at that stage right now, like, her feet are swollen, ankles. You know, she's, like, 3rd trimester shit, you know? And it's like, dude, my feet are fucking hurting. What the fuck is going on? Like, I've
Yep.
never had my feet hurt.
Diabetes.
No, fuck you. I don't have diabetes. But goddamn
Get
it.
some new socks from
Yeah.
CVS.
It's just it's interesting.
Hey, there's a new
weird.
CVS. Did you see up Powell, that Target? Did you notice it?
Yeah.
It looks. They were building it. It looks like it was going to be a new season or something.
Where
It's
at?
a Target up Powell,
yeah.
up by Safari and all that.
Yeah,
right there
right
by the
over there.
right
McDonald's.
across where the bowling alley was.
Oh
They
shit!
tore the bowling alley down. And
Damn,
fucking,
I didn't know that.
It's the stupidest
I
looking
haven't
Target.
Been up,
Put on
I
Target.
haven't been up. How
It looks like a Whole Foods, and it's a Target.
dude, it's crazy. This city's crazy right now.
So it's a new season. Is what you're saying.
But it's a Target.
Ill, what are you being entertained by these days when you're not working on your own stuff?
Podcasts. Well, yeah, Tenacious D. Like
Game of
no,
Thrones.
yeah, so I'm rewatching Game of Thrones, but they're kind of just in preparation for the new season. Also, I was super late on Game of Thrones. Like, basically, I never watched Game of Thrones, and then I binge watched it. In the 6th season came out as soon as I finished the 5th season.
Okay.
But I'm talking, I probably finished it within a month or something, maybe a little more. But yeah, so I never watched it even after the 5th season had dropped until right before the 6th season dropped. And then I watched it a week later when I finished the end of the 5th season, the 6th season dropped. So, but I rewatched it again after the 6th season.
Dude.
Battle of the Bastards is the
Dude.
best episode of anything ever put out. And it is and no one can debate me on this, is single-handedly the best battle scene. Mass, older, like hand-to-hand, sword to
yeah,
sword,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
metal to
Fucking
metal, battle
believable.
scene ever done.
Ever filmed?
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't care. You can't, like a movie,
I
show,
agree.
anything. That shit is intense.
We just started. Goddamn it! I just started rewatching it. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm on season.
What do you mean, just
4
Just
now?
in
for the
preparation also
restart.
for April.
Just from the stop from the beginning?
Well, we watched We started on 1, but we're like, fuck it, let's start on 4. Like,
I'm on season 4 now.
Season
but
4
I
is
did
so
it the
good.
real way.
But dude, I've done it. I've done it. I've done
me
it
too.
twice.
This is my third. This is my
is your
third
third?
time. It's my
All
girl's
right.
second time, so that was what
Yeah.
it was. I watched it by myself,
Yeah.
all the way through and caught up, and then after that, I was like, "You haven't seen."
Dude.
All right, we got to start from. You can't just kind of,
It's
if
true.
you've seen it, but you can't really jump into Game of Thrones.
You can't. You can't.
You have to really appreciate the character's
Yeah.
growth and how you'll hate them one season, then you're like, damn,
By,
Jamie Lannister,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
You,
I
yeah, you
kinda
really
get
have
it,
to
or-
kind of understand the characters to
Yeah.
enjoy the show at all. I mean, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
you can enjoy the aesthetics of it, but
you
to like
really do
get the
have
story
to watch it like at least twice, or do research,
or read it.
Yeah,
Read it and do research.
you read it,
right. That's
Gives
my
you that
thing
kind of
is-
leg up.
That's my thing is that the show. I never watched it because I'm like some medieval like dragon shit.
Yeah,
all-
right,
I'm
right.
That's how
like,
my
I'm
girl
cool-
was
I'm
too.
like,
Almost
that's corny,
always
I'm
a
cool.
bad sign. Those
And
things
yeah, I'm
almost
like,
always
no,
suck.
That's gonna be terrible. But then I watched it. I'm like, this is way more. This is like it's House of Cards, but more in
So
depth.
good.
You know, like it is really the power struggle. You see all the different layers of deception and self-injury. It's a technical.
We're
ass
lucky
thing,
to
like
be alive
human
during
story.
Game of Thrones.
It's amazing.
It's crazy. I mean, granted, it will be here for generations to come, but people who died before Game of Thrones, that life sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might have had good kids and fucking they worked at the fucking mill and made fucking 60 grand a year and bought an Oldsmobile and all this shit. You lived the fucking dream. Ate McDonald's for the first time, tasted the salt. Fucking, like, beef Domino's.
Yeah.
I can order this.
Seen like Hendrix do the like national
Right.
anthem,
Right.
Dropped
guitar,
acid in
or
fucking San
Transatlantic flight
Francisco.
for the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time.
Right. Howard Hughes, all
John
that,
Cocker,
Right.
69
Fucking-
Woodstock,
all the shit, right? But
But
fuck Game
Game
of
of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's the best story ever told. Fuck the Bible.
Yeah, honestly,
You know?
So I was like, yo, I would love to see Game of Thrones, like the people who created Game of Thrones, like all that same team, like remake the Mount Barrett, which is like, the like, it's like the Eastern. I don't want to butcher it.
No, it's fine. It's
but-
fine. It
but
doesn't
the
matter.
Mount
I don't
Barrett
know.
is like fire, like Krishna and all that. Like
Yeah.
seeing Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
me and my girl talk about it. I'm like, that would be fire coming
Fuck.
from because there's epic battles and all this shit. But
Hare
best
Krishna.
best show ever.
I just bought the audiobook of George Martin just put out a new book in Game of Thrones. It's not the next one in the series. It's called Fire and Blood. It's the history of the Targaryens.
Oh, that's tight.
Oh, that's sick.
That's fucking
And I just
tight.
drove back down from Seattle, so I listened to the first 3 hours. It's a 26-hour long
Of course
reading,
it is.
Damn.
Yeah.
and it's written like a history book, kind of like I think obviously Tolkien's Silmarillion for Lord of the Rings, where he just basically tells the history of Middle Earth. It's this kind of thing.
Right.
So it's not story. It's not dialogue. It's just
It's facts and
in the year 27 before the conquering of Westeros, King, so and so
Aegon.
Targaryen.
What the fuck? Think about it. That guy sits down and he made up that shit
Yeah.
and fucking wrote out a complete history.
You're creating a
of-
realm. Yeah, you're
what the
creating.
And I
fuck?
listened to 3 hours
it's
of
so
this
nuts. Like,
of 26 hours.
yeah.
hours of this, and I was kind of disappointed because I was hoping there was going to be more like story to it because I just
Right.
love the way he writes
Yeah,
and
the
the story's so
narrative,
tight. But yet still interesting. It's
He's
like
giving
damn.
like a referential primer
especially-
for stories to maybe
Exactly.
spawn from,
Uh-huh.
and maybe some prequel shit. Because we're past the source material with season 7, right?
Yeah.
And season 8's gonna be as well.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
we don't need to nerd out too much about this.
We can.
But
That's what we do.
No. Let's go there.
personally,
Let's go there.
season
Let's go there.
7, yeah, it was the payoff season where all these things happened. Cool, but it wasn't as. It
No,
didn't have
not even close.
It was okay. Here's
But it
here's
was
what
still
I look
tight,
at it.
right?
It was tight.
It was great television.
but there was a lot of shit where I'm like,
They sped.
it took this long for the Hound
They
to get
sped.
Arya to over here, but yeah,
Like
this
years.
dude
Years,
in
yeah.
15 minutes of the same episode,
Uh-huh.
made it to the wall and back, and all, and there was just all this
Yeah.
shit where I'm like, this is. But I get it in the way of like they built up all these things, so
And they
now
gotta
it's like
wrap it.
season 7 where this is like the payoff season, but. Yeah, I was a little like, and then I had already thought that, and then had a conversation with someone because I'm not super into like, I don't like read about the shit on like Reddit. Like
I don't either.
Chase,
I don't-
strong name,
Yeah,
strong guy.
Fucking great.
He
name.
he reads
And,
about
yeah.
everything. Like he's hella into Marvel and Thrones, everything.
He
like,
wants to
on
know all the
Reddit.
stuff.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got all.
yeah.
I'm
so
not
he'll
into
be
that
like,
shit, but
oh.
yeah.
And so he'll be like, you know, yeah, we're off the source material now. This, I'm like, oh,
Like that makes sense.
that makes sense.
I
'Cause
remember the
now
first
we're
time I
just
drank a beer.
TV.
Jesus,
Now the TV.
spilled beer all over myself.
Boom.
I think
Fuck. Sorry.
they were probably they were like, okay, so we've spent 6 years building these characters and
Yeah.
telling this story. And it's like we're at the point we don't have to build anything anymore. Now it's
Yeah.
time to basically tear it all down.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's,
yeah.
yeah.
And like let's just
wrap.
get it over with.
Let's-
Let's
yeah.
just knock it
It's
out.
gonna have to end. How do we do this?
Yeah.
Do we source it out over another 5-6 years, or do we put $2 million in every fucking episode and just fucking blow people's minds?
The one thing about
It's
season
just like-
7 I will say is visually it's
Oh, by far.
so good.
It's all the shit that
Dude.
you know, like you see the walkers in the first episode and don't even see them, I don't think, again to like the second season. Or
Barely.
maybe one
the very first
glimpse
scene,
or
right,
something.
of
Yeah.
season 1. It's
Yeah,
Walker,
and then- And so I get it.
yeah,
And also from a perspective of say, you know, someone that's never watched it, right? If they're gonna jump into anything, I'm like season 7 or something. You know what I mean? Like do that. But the things that make it the show great to me are the first 6 where I'm like, oh my, all the
you have to
it's
know.
so because you
have to know.
here's the thing, and it relates to Infinity War in this way to me. Not everything is black and white. You're bad. You're good.
Mhm.
That's what I love about it. You sympathize with the people who you hate at first.
All of a sudden, you like Jamie Lannister.
You kind of dislike
you
some
know?
people that you thought you'd like it for, and there's all these different things because that's how life is. There's shades of emotion.
not
and
everybody's just good or bad person.
Yeah,
You
and
like-
they're
one
all
is, you
fucked
know?
up in their own fucking way.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that whole thing like The Sopranos created. Like Tony Soprano was a fucking serial killer in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. You know what I mean? He's a murderer.
A lot of shows
a-
like Dexter,
but you fucking
was a
root-
serial
same
killer,
thing,
but
right?
you
Exactly.
empathize with them.
All of a sudden, you
Nucky Thompson,
you're
know,
rooting
like a
for these
mobster,
horrible
killer.
people. Walter White,
Walter White, yeah, a
Piece
method
of
cook
shit.
dealer, yeah,
piece of shit,
yeah.
murderer,
But you're-
piece of
You're
shit.
sympathizing with
Love
him
him.
through this narrative.
I
Yeah.
wish he was still alive.
yeah, yeah.
I wish I was Walter White.
It's true.
But
HBO trying to desensitize it. No.
But it's that same thing, like, and how crazy is it? Like, all of a sudden, these first few episodes, you make these connections with, this family, right? The daughters and the husband's a good, noble man.
I thought
and,
Ned was like the guy.
And
he was
then-
gonna be the
star,
and
the
if
main,
you
the main
don't know
character.
this- if you don't know this, fuck you. Watch Game of Thrones. No spoilers. Fuck you. They chop his motherfucking head off. And you're like, what
My
the
mind was
fuck?
blown. I was like,
You
no,
know?
he's gonna get shown mercy or someone's gonna.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
when it happened,
And then,
like, I
Because
was-
that's just not
I
the way it
was-
works most of the
no,
time.
no,
I was
in-
befuddled.
right.
I had to run it back. I was like, hold on,
Did
hold
that
on, hold
just
on.
happen?
dude,
Rewind.
when I read
When Joffrey goes, have his head, and you're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
You're like, okay, someone's gonna swoop
This
in
little
or
piece
something.
of shit,
Like,
and his mom's telling him no. Everybody's like, dude, don't do that. Like, what the fuck, bro?
when I read the
Ugh.
the Red Wedding, I was reading the book. This is before the show had
Oh
gotten
my
to that point.
God, dude.
I
That's the
literally
other-
Oh
had
my-
to put the book down and decide whether I wanted to fucking keep reading this story or not. I was like,
because
Yeah.
that's the thing. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, because his dad, but this is the new, and he's perfect.
mhm.
He's like he's wise. He's courageous. He's doing all these.
He's got everybody
things.
behind him.
He's
Yeah,
literally
and he's
maybe
like-
the only
yeah,
good
he's
figure.
Like young, and
Yeah.
you're like, yes, okay, now I can get behind him. Okay, we lost, Ned,
But we're still
we
good in the north.
Yeah, we're
Right.
still good in the north. Because that's what you think is the north is the
It's-
is the protagonist. I was
Yeah.
gonna say
That's it,
progenitor,
that's it.
but the protagonist. So you're like, okay, we're watching this from the north's perspective,
Right.
Because that's how it seems.
You're
at
right.
first.
That's
We
who we're
were-
supposed to
we
be
are fans of the North.
rooting for. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're,
And then boom,
Boom.
the red wedding. I was
Boom.
because that's around the end of the third, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
We just like passed that a few days ago. My
That-
girl watching it back and still watch. And the other thing, watching it back, you catch a lot of different like foreshadowing and subtleties, like for
right when they're
instance-
singing like the song of the other family.
Yeah, yeah.
What are
Yeah, they're singing the Lannister song.
Right.
Yeah,
They start
like
the orchestra.
dinner.
They
Yeah,
start
yeah.
playing it. at the-
Also, there's like this scene early on where Daenerys's brother, what's it, the just slime
I don't
ball
even
that you
remember
don't
his
even,
name.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about those. So
selling her off to Khal Drogo.
he's like in the bath, and it's the whore. The lady of the night that teaches Daenerys how to take control of the white girl or whatever.
Yeah.
She's on top of him in the bath or whatever, and he's basically like calling her dumb, like, oh, like giving me advice on this. They're having some conversation, I can't remember, but he's like, you know, what do you know? Like, what have you seen? I'm sure you've seen a lot of God, like basically like you're a whore and you've seen nothing but a whorehouse or whatever. And she was like, I've seen things. And there's like 3 things she foreshadows, but I only ever
okay.
remember one because I've talked about this, like, I don't know, maybe my girl or something, but she's like, I've seen a man with no face or with changing faces or whatever
okay.
that's done this. I've seen this, and it's characters you don't see for like a season or 2 or whatever, because that's like the
Crazy,
first
yeah.
season or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's like foreshadowing, kind of from her perspective, characters that get introduced.
So on the
later
rewatch,
and
you're catching
everything.
these things like,
Yeah.
holy shit, she's talking about this guy. Or,
which you don't know and
And
you
that's
don't
just,
remember.
Like
you know,
it's that. I mean,
before.
I have an attention span of a fucking sparrow, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm fucking the classic ADD. Fucking put on something, get on my phone, fucking what rewind, you know, type shit. Like, but Game of Thrones, it's like that. Like, it's like, wait a minute. What family is this? What is going on? Like, good
Yeah.
thing my girl's smart as fuck. But I'm like, I've seen this shit so many times. And I'm like, still, there's just so much shit to figure out. It's
Yeah.
so deep. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. You could take like a college course on that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like a scene where what's the Tyrell, the queen,
Marjorie?
Marjorie, where she's like, at one point she called, when she's with Joffrey, she calls her sister, and she's like, they're in the chapel, and she's like, basically, or they're. It's right after the wedding or right before, I don't remember, but she's Cersei basically like punks her, like don't ever call me your sister. Like, I'll
Yeah,
kill
yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah,
da, da,
yeah,
da, da, da.
Yep,
Punks her, hell off.
Yep,
Boom.
yep.
Fast forward, Joffrey dies, all this shit, and then Cersei, which Marjorie had already gone into the young king,
Tommen.
already like
Tommen.
snuck into his quarters and kind of like planted the seed, like, I'm gonna fuck with you, but then boom, pops out and then acts dumb, and Cersei's like. She's like, yo, she comes up like, whoa, basically she's thinking strategically, like, we still need the Tyrells. So she's like, oh, well, you know, mourning, but she suggests like, it has an innuendo of her getting with the young, and just in that moment of vulnerability, Marjorie senses it, and she's like, yeah, like, we'll be family, sister. Da, 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 da. And it's like, and Cersei can't say anything because she needs her.
Yeah, so she's biting
but
her
it's
tongue.
Like that whole thing of like, yeah, for sure. You told me not to call you sis. Yeah, no, for sure, sis.
Yeah.
And it's totally one of the,
Yeah.
which I never caught that before, but it's all watching it back. Game of Thrones,
Watchability.
amazing.
You could watch it fucking.
Yeah,
You
the
can just
writing
keep
is
watching
incredible.
It. It's fucking
Great.
so great. Like,
Yep.
and HBO's been playing them recently. Like, fuck HBO on cable, dude. They only offer like 4 HD channels. What the fuck? The rest of
Yeah.
them are like little squares on a 55-inch TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
just
just
get the
watch
app.
the HBO now.
Why don't you
Yeah,
just
just
get
do
that?
that.
I don't know, man. You know, I'm old school. You know.
So we got a HBO, or we got a Game of Thrones prequel series coming next year.
Have you heard about that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, buddy.
There's
Check this out.
so this coming just in a few months, we get season 8, the final 6 episodes.
Right,
of
right.
Game of Thrones. Next year we get a prequel
You said
series.
6?
Yeah,
Only 6?
it's only 6 episodes.
What?
I've heard at least some of them are going to be long episodes, like hour
2
20
hours
or hour 30 or
okay,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But yeah, 6 episodes and that's it. But
Really?
then
I
next
didn't know
year,
that sucks.
the Long Winter, which is like it's based like 1,000 years before what we're watching
the last
now.
long winter when walkers actually
Yeah, so
roam.
this is kind of going to show us, I believe, that's all kind of speculation still, but like how how the birth of the White Walkers, how who's in power at that point, how the Starks kind of came to be a powerful family. 'Cause that's a big part of the history of the. So I don't know. I don't.
The same. Is it like an offshoot or some? You know what
I mean George
like,
Martin's involved.
Okay.
So he's. I don't expect it to be as good without him actually writing when you have the source material of the books that he wrote that are in such detail to build a show off of, you're just already ahead of the game, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much writing he's doing, ahead of time, but he is going to help write he's writing the show, so
that's tight.
It should be cool.
That's tight.
When's he gonna finish this fucking last book?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
Jesus, so weird. I don't know.
It is weird.
It must be hard and a lot of pressure, though, with the show being what it is. So now it's not even your world anymore.
Right.
It's like it's out there. So it's like now
It's
you're not
everybody's.
even pulling from your world as much that vision. You're pulling from
I
sort
hope
of
they do a fucking
the
documentary on
collective
that,
vision of your world.
Yeah.
Like
I wanna know
I can't
what-
kill them off.
And you're going to disappoint everybody in one way or
matter
another
what.
because there's so many
He's
expectations
like
now.
the Kubrick of fucking novels. Like he was just like he's on some other shit,
Yeah,
dude. Like
yeah.
what the fuck?
My hope has always been that he would let the show finish. Once I found out the show was going to finish before he finished the books, my hope was that he would let the show finish and then put out his ending that's different from the show.
That would be tight.
You know what
That'd
I
be
mean?
tight.
That'd be fire.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
I never read the books.
Could be
but I
the
would read
biggest
that
audible
for
of
sure.
all time, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
If he ever puts out the Winds of Winter, it'll be.
well, the thing
massive.
about the audible, like the fucking audio versions of Game of Thrones, like whoever they got to narrate it, kind of sucks. I don't.
Are they all the same person?
I think, yeah, and they're old. Like it's just like it was.
It's like David
Long-
Edinburgh or whatever.
He didn't do it. It's not. It's still good.
Marjorie Tyrell.
But dude, honestly,
Oh no!
the books are fucking badass because the way he writes he writes every chapter is a character. So it's not just like, you know what I mean? It's like Arya, fucking,
yeah,
blah,
it's
blah,
every
blah,
chapter
like-
is from a certain character's perspective or
Yeah,
about
yeah,
a
yeah.
certain
and they're-
character.
it's so dense and so long, but it's a quick read in its own weird way.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the chapters aren't like super long.
Right, and it's not just following one. Then it's
Yeah.
it's a whole new subject for the next chapter.
It's fucking.
And to
it's
me,
great.
like, I haven't read a ton in my life, but the way he writes, you just keep going. Like you
It's
really want to
addictive.
know what
It's
the fucking
addictive.
next sentence is. You know what I mean? You have to kind of just keep going. And I've never had any other. I've had books that are like that, but
I
no
have.
one author that does
Yeah.
that for me.
James
It's
Patterson, second degree, baby.
Dan Brown.
Fuck.
Daniel Quinn.
Tom Clancy, Rainbow Six,
Danielle Steele.
classic.
Yeah, Clancy for sure.
Clancy, dude. Oh fuck.
So how into the whole Marvel universe are you?
I'm super lightweight, man. Chase, I have like little
Yes?
tidbits of inside knowledge because my Chase, strong name, strong guy, good name, good guy. He
Strong name.
he's like all over it, and so I get his like secondhand little gems or whatever.
That's me with him.
But yeah,
You
but
know,
I'm
fucking-
not. I watched some of the movie. I didn't even watch. I don't know if I've watched the first Avengers and stuff, but
Okay.
but I've like definitely seen all the the DC like the Dark Knights, and then I've watched obviously when the Iron Man is like the franchise that kind of built
Yeah.
the Marvel, but
Only's into this shit.
only
I wanna
Chase-
have him on
See,
here
that's
too
the
to
thing
talk
is I
about it.
like third hand. I get like the second and third hand smoke.
Let's
from
just
them,
fucking move
from
on.
them just
Fuck
talking
Infinity.
about it hella, where I'm like, oh yeah, and I like pick up gems and then offer my own because I'm totally a Thanos fan.
Yeah,
I'm like
for
he
sure.
ain't he's not a bad
He's
guy.
not the bad guy.
Well, he's getting a bad rap. I'm like he's trying to.
That Josh Brolin is a fucking.
Oh, Brolin, Cable,
Cable.
Fuck, what a bad motherfucker, dude.
Cable, and
Jesus.
Thanos.
Fuck. Infinity Wars is on Netflix right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
got
yeah.
on there. Fuck.
I've seen it multiple times, but that was a thing where I seen it like 2 or 3 times in theaters, and in Infinity War. And so I've got into a debate like with Avo, my homie. Like Avo's like worked on, a lot of movies and claims to be a movie buff, but it's kind of just weightlifting douchebag in a way.
Shots
Kinda
fired.
Rap.
Damn.
He won't
Damn.
see this. But he's like, oh, it's not a good movie though. He's like special effects, but it's not a good movie. And like this is really just me kind of regurgitating. I think probably Chase, good guy, good name.
Yeah, yeah. Strong.
Chase Moore's
Chase Bank, baby.
Chase Moore's like whole
That's my rap name. Not a
spiel
big
where
deal.
it's like, yo, but this is like the culmination of, 18 or however many, different movies, storylines colliding at
Yeah.
once. When has that ever happened in a movie?
Right.
That's what's super
pretty-
interesting
yeah,
to
it is.
me.
In a sense,
like,
it's Game of Thrones season 7. It's
Yeah,
payoff for
yeah.
everything that's been building.
yeah, but you didn't know that they were building all. I mean, you knew they're in the same universe, all these, but like that at least for me, not being a big Marvel head or whatever, that Guardians of the Galaxy and all these things just culminating to this crescendo, like that shit was crazy, man. Like,
Yeah.
that was
It's one big fucking
all
movie,
of them
dude.
meeting. Yeah, yeah,
It is pretty crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
What about Black Panther? Did you watch that one?
Yes, thought it was great.
That movie, which I think is a great movie. I believe its Rotten Tomatoes score is so much higher than Infinity War.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like Infinity
there was
War.
another Marvel movie that dropped around there. What was it?
Well, let's see,
Ant-Man
the-
2.
Besides Infinity War.
Well, Deadpool and
Okay.
Infinity War came out around the same time.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Black
yeah.
Panther was earlier in the year.
Okay. I have complaints about Black Panther.
Yeah.
I just thought some shit was forced.
Okay, that's fair.
And it mainly is like in the third act, like when T'Challa comes back, and like the way the whole movie crescendos and like climaxes. I'm like, forced. That's a reach. I'm like, no, you've been like, this is like born, bred, like guy. The rules are he's got to be dead for there to be a new king. He is okay. You think he's dead, so you start to honor this other king, Killmonger. Boom, he comes back, and you're just riding with the other guy, like.
Right.
And I get that they kind of segmented off, and he had his own little loyalties, but I thought it was super forced. I feel like they'd have been like, "Oh yeah, no, y'all got to fight again." Like, nope.
Right.
Right.
And there's
But
like
in-
some foreshadowing
in-
with dude wanting to go to war. Old boy from Get Out, who is one of his top guys, like
Yeah.
who got behind Killmonger, wanting war or whatever. But
Yeah,
At least
I
they
just
showed
thought it was
him.
super forced.
At least
like,
they showed him kind of disagreeing with the way T'Challa was doing
yes,
things.
wow, yeah.
But
that
I
was the
absolutely feel
foreshadowing.
you. Yeah.
Movies
yeah, but
are
the
hard,
whole
though.
the whole
They-
climax I thought was kind of forced. Like,
To have to shove so much content into 2 hours,
Yeah.
2:30 tops.
this is why a series.
That's
this,
it.
getting back to Thrones and all.
Right.
Why a series is like you can be so much more invested.
and I think
into,
it comes around to that topic of like long form conversations. Also,
Yeah.
it can take on a life. It can breathe. You can learn who the artist is. Right.
Yeah.
You can tap into, versus just like, hey man, you got a new project out. Yeah, blah blah blah. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm touring or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Right.
Like these long conversations give a human element to it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with like Thrones. You relate, you invest how many hours into
Even if, like
Arya's
Breaking
journey.
Bad or something.
Same thing.
You tune in, like say the fourth season or whatever. I don't even remember how many
I think
seasons.
they went
but-
5. I
but
think they
like
went
you
5.
tune in the third or fourth season, you're like, this guy's a fucking dick. Why would
Fuck.
anyone like him?
It's
But if
crazy.
you had seen the first, you kind of
Yeah.
get this whole
yeah, he's
build
a
up.
science teacher who fucking gets
But-
cancer all of a sudden. Who's a
But
family man.
I liked Black Panther. Don't get it confused.
No,
But
yeah, I feel you.
I was like,
See-
like a little forced to get to
but
the big
a good
battle.
movie is hard
to-
these days.
Black
Like,
Panther
Yeah,
is
because we
the-
expect so much.
is the third highest
with long
grossing
form.
film of all time in the box office domestically. Black
Really?
Panther made $12 million more than Infinity War did
damn.
in the theater.
Damn.
That's crazy, right? Like, so Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Avatar.
What's the Force Awakens?
It's the first one of,
Of
the
the
new
new
of the new
reboot.
movies. Yeah,
Oh, okay, the Jar Jar Binks one, right?
yeah. no,
No,
no Jar
no?
Jar.
Oh,
No,
that's the second one.
this is from 2015, so this is just a few years ago.
Oh,
this came
really?
out,
That
yeah.
did numbers?
There's 4 new Star Wars movies now.
It was a big deal.
It's
because
the
they're-
highest grossing film of all time domestically.
Damn.
Because how long was it between Star Wars films? 10 years?
10 years. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So there wasn't a Star
But then
Wars movie.
Avatar, which has been which was #1 for a long time,
AKA Fern Gully.
and yeah, and a long ways ahead of everything
Totally,
else.
dude.
And then Black
Totally.
Panther now #3.
Damn, that's crazy. I'm not mad at that.
No, me either. And whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Black Panther was tight as
movie.
fuck, and also, yeah, it's like one of the classic storylines. I at least know that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And there was that whole like it came out around that time. You know, was it like the 70s or whatever when Black Panther was originally released as a comic and
Yeah,
shit?
somewhere around there.
So that's
I don't
like-
know. I'm no expert.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's some shit that's
Shout
like
out to
reflective
Stan
of the
Lee.
time. Yeah,
God
R.I.P.
damn, dude. That
R.I.P. Stan
motherfucker
Lee.
wrote so much shit, dude. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
same thing. Like, how the fuck do you create that much shit in your life?
Created
It's
a universe too, you know,
Yeah.
that has parallels
It's nuts.
within ours. It's
pretty
really
cool.
dope.
Pretty dope.
Black Panther's really dope. I really like the movie. I think me personally, I tend to be a devil's advocate from time to time. So
Nah, no.
I see everyone going crazy
mean,
about
it's-
Black Panther, and then
No,
I'm
no,
like,
it's-
well, it's a little forced at the. But I held that feeling when I was in the theater. I was like, really?
I mean, it's
Like,
good
why-
to look at other perspectives
Yeah.
of things, right?
But I thought it was a real dope
I lo-
movie. Like
but-
the whole. Also, it's so essential to the storyline, the Marvel storyline, you know, and even leading into Infinity War. Is
Right.
there gonna be? Is there another
Watch.
one on deck? Black Panther.
Yes, there's going to be
think so.
another Black Panther. There's another Spider-Man on the way.
Sick.
Second part of
I
Infinity
haven't
War
caught
is
any
coming.
of the new Spider-Man with the young kid.
They're
I
pretty-
haven't.
It's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, I hear the Chase. Good name.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
Chase.
strong name.
Yeah, strong name, strong guy.
Yeah, fuck
He's,
yeah. Shout out to fucking Chase, the
he's-
producer.
yeah,
Fuck.
he's like heavy.
I wanna
He's
have
like,
a beer
yo,
with
it's
him.
really good. He's like, it's really good.
It
He
is
kills
good.
it.
It was better than the fucking other ones. I mean,
With
the
Toby.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
were terrible.
They fell off.
Bless.
Thank you.
Those are kind of like the fucking shitty Star Wars. Bless you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyways, you
and
guys.
Spider-Man is like the highest grossing just merchandise ever.
Yeah, people love Spider-Man.
Like this
I have
highest
for
selling
years and
toy
years.
or like merchant. I don't know if is it limited to comics or what, but the highest merchandising out of all comics
I believe
is
it.
Spider-Man.
My kid's got a Spider-Man shirt.
Yeah, every kid wants to be Spider-Man.
It's tight.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense because he's like the average little.
He is every kid. That's
Yeah,
why. I mean,
just
that's
every
exactly
kid,
how
yeah.
Stanley or whoever wrote the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they did. It was like he's just a normal dude.
Right.
Smart, of course, but
Right.
regular kid. Lives
Uh-huh.
with his aunt and uncle.
You guys haven't done the old fucking Bird Watch movie.
Yeah. Ben. Oh.
What's it called?
Bird Box.
Bird Box.
Bird
No,
Box.
I
You guys haven't done it yet.
Sandra Bullock meme.
Despite the social media hype,
That
I
shit
haven't
went
gotten around to
viral.
it yet.
It's
I
like
haven't.
big on the internet. What the
I
fuck?
haven't
It's
seen
dope.
It at all.
It's good. I recommend it. That's all I'm gonna say.
You
about
told
it.
me that it was a must-watch.
It's a must watch. It's a good movie. It's suspenseful. It's an interesting story. Whatever the fuck. I'm a big Sandra Bullock fan. I love The Blind Side.
Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, dude, all of them. I'm a fan.
Speed.
Speed 1 and 2.
Oh, is she in 1
yeah,
and 2?
she's in 1
Okay,
and
yeah.
2. What?
That's right. Yeah,
What?
the original. That's
Speed
on the
2,
bus.
You went to Speed 2, cruise control versus.
I just assumed she
There's
was
a
only
bomb
in
on
the
the
second.
bus.
I just
Come on,
remember
dude.
Keanu Reeves from the first.
That's the first one, yeah. Okay, what? There's another thing I meant to bring up.
Bring it up.
Dude, the new. Fuck, I got a buzz.
The
Um,
Choose Your Own Adventure.
No. Black Mirror, the movie.
Yeah, Bandersnatch.
that it?
Bandersnatch,
that
whatever
what
it
it's
is.
called?
Vendor Slice. Yeah, no.
That's
Vendor.
the Choose Your Own Adventure book, right?
I did it last night. It was weird. Like, it felt forced at first. Like, oh, you have to choose this because I don't want to spoil it, but you guys will witness it. But towards the end, you're just like, I'm on drugs. What the fuck? Like, I felt like I was on mushrooms watching it.
I skimmed past
sober,
the
dude.
diagram of like this is all the ways it can, and I like skim past
Okay,
it.
Do
I
you
don't wanna
feel like
see it.
you could ruin it by making the wrong choice? Like, do you
I
feel
don't
any
think,
pressure
no,
to
I-
like?
No.
Okay.
I think you just play it the way you play it.
And
How
there's a
many
bunch
di-
of you can
how
do it
many
a bunch of different times, right?
I would
Yeah,
imagine.
and
How
just
many
do
endings
different-
are there?
I don't know. I think there's a good amount.
Really?
Again, I skimmed past it, but I seen a bunch of bubbles and
I
got
gotta do it again. I have to do it again.
How is it? How does it transition when you make a choice to the next part of the movie? Is it a smooth transition, or does it like
Absolutely.
load it like another
Nope.
video?
Doesn't load.
So I read a
You go-
article. I
it
did
doesn't
read an
load.
article. I can't
You
remember.
have
I
a
didn't
timer on your choice, right? So it says pick Frosted Flakes or Apple Puffs.
Shout out Malto Meal.
I'm just saying, right? Right? Boom. Pick Jefferson Airplane or Steve Miller Band.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all I'm gonna say. Like, there's no. I
You
can't.
didn't solve any problems for me. There.
Perfect. But these are the kind of the choices. Don't. You're like, what the fuck is this? And it doesn't matter what I choose right now because there's moments in this movie thing that will say you made the wrong choice and it will bring you back.
Oh, you lost, like you're playing a video game.
You'll start over. And
Really?
dude.
That's fire.
It's
Okay.
it's
I
a
want to do this.
trip.
I'm gonna do
And,
this.
and you're
You
like,
know what's so funny is
and
like
in my mind, I'm like, I need to choose that again because
everybody's thought of this, right? Like ever since you know, R.L. Stein and
totally
Choose Your Own Adventures.
Totally.
Like, it's been in my head, but like definitely over the last couple of years, like I'm starting to try to dabble in writing and stuff. And I'm like, a Choose Your Own Adventure movie. I'm like, and in the theater experience, like people will have this little thing where they click and vote, and that'll, you know,
I had
it'll
a
be a
thought-
different movie. And that's something I've like fantasized about forever is a Choose Your Own Adventure movie. And this is it,
They
you
did
know?
it.
And
They
I
did it.
guess there's like been different because I did read this article. I read like 5/6 of it. Like I read it from and
I
there
went
was
in
like an
zero
extra
knowledge,
paragraph and I was
zero
like, I get
knowledge.
it. But I read an article and it was just talking about like the finer things, like how they had to come up with new technology of like to create less buffer, like when you make the choice, because
That's exactly what I
'cause
was
it's-
wondering.
Yeah, because it spawns
I
like these
don't-
different things where with the old technology it would have had to buffer or whatever, but they created
However
these
the
new
fuck they did
algorithms
this
or whatever that
is
was
insane.
He's
It's-
telling you right now.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
No,
didn't mean to cut you.
that was
That's
all
what I
about it.
do.
They had to create like this new like algorithm essentially to process. And it's the algorithms like social media where they almost like guess where you're gonna go based on previous decisions,
Yep.
but how they like compound the I don't know.
That's how it
shit
felt.
that someone way
Because-
smarter will get than
Because
me.
like, say my answer's on the left,
Mhm.
I'm more prone to keep going on answers on the left. It's weird.
Well,
I
you're on the spectrum.
I am.
Is that
I am,
is it a
but-
thing where there's a type of answer that's
There
on the
is.
left and a type
is.
of answer that's on the
There
right?
is.
Like the good bad
There is.
kind of
There's
thing.
a good bad element.
Mm.
There's a
Is it just two?
it's just,
Just
two.
two,
Just two. And
how
the-
often is
and
it?
sometimes-
but without spoiling, but how
sometimes
often
there's
is it
only
on
one.
average?
No, and
Some-
he's asking about the movie.
I know. I'm sorry. On
No, no,
average,
like choices, like how often do you think on average?
every 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah. Damn. For like an hour and a half long
Yeah.
movie about?
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
Because dude,
Chicago.
I can't describe. I mean, I can't describe it without spoiling it. But again,
Well, you could.
it comes.
Well,
it keeps coming back
in the
and
article.
it's-
They said like, you know, basically we had to create it in a way where you're gonna get to certain endings or whatever, but we still have to curate it in a way that your choices mean something, but we can't just create a million alternate
Yep.
realities, you
Yeah.
know. So there has to be choke points of choices
and again,
where it's not.
It felt forced
where-
at times.
Yeah.
It was like it doesn't matter what I choose here. It's
Yeah.
gonna go this way. Because there was a point where I like went in the kitchen or something, and Kimmy, my girl, was like, "Oh, it just chose for you," and just kept going. You know, so we tried that a couple times, but it was like, you know,
So it'll just pick something if you don't.
right. And
Okay.
there are times where
Okay.
you don't have a choice,
Okay.
but again, it's such a trip and such a mind fuck towards the end of it that you're just like, this is so intense.
It's the perfect series with
It's
Black
so-
Mirror
Fuck,
with
they
doing this,
killed
right?
it. They
Because
killed it.
Black Mirror has always been like technology,
killed it.
like, and so now incorporating something new, like
It feels
right.
dangerous.
technologically
It
into.
feels dangerous.
Yeah,
They're
It-
bringing their ideas into the real world.
It feels fucking dangerous.
yeah.
It feels
That's
wrong.
how they even reading about it or hearing the. I just heard about it. Like I don't know how long it's been out, but excuse me, I just heard like when I seen that article. I think I had seen people tweeting or something about Bird Box, and then also about Black Mirror, whatever it's called, and just kind of scroll past it. I'll never, when people are talking about new series, I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
just, unless I've seen it.
Aber brought it up.
But then random article saying, oh, like new Black Mirror, choose your own adventure. I was like, wait, what? And that's what I read. Like, well, hold on.
That
And there
caught
was,
your
like,
interest.
yeah, because I'm like, wait, what? Choose your own adventure? I didn't even know. I hadn't heard. I just scrolled past people's tweets because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch the new Black Mirror, so
Yeah.
I don't want no spoilers. Scroll past, but I was like, wait, it's a choose your own adventure, and then it's like it's not really a spoiler like article, and they just kind of break down the, from the creator's perspective what they had to do, and I was like,
Dude.
damn, this is everything I want. Like, and this is like a new genre, right? Like, this is gonna open the door
Oh,
to
dude.
Very well could, yeah.
Dude.
new genres.
I don't know what the fuck they did, but it's some like weird.
It's like, think about
It's
Red Dead
weird.
Redemption, right? Or
Yeah.
or Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah.
right? It's an open world. It's ultimately choose your own adventure. You got kind of the sum total of all the things you can do, but you're not doing it
The
in this
things that are
linear way.
possible in this-
So
Mhm.
you're choosing your own adventure and how it goes.
Again,
but
it felt dangerous. Like it had an element of like, this isn't right.
Like I don't want to I don't want to make the wrong choice. I don't want to
well,
do the wrong
that's
thing.
the other
This
thing,
is-
right? Is like,
This is weird because
this is an experiment about Think about Black Mirror too.
Yeah.
That's the iron, the part that adds a layer to me. Like I'm always like looking
Well,
at like
it felt like
what
it
aren't
could be-
people
Are they reading
thinking
what
about?
we're choosing and then
right,
learning
right.
about
They
us
got-
that
they
way?
Totally
Definitely
measured.
are.
Totally could be
And
measured.
there's psychology behind it, not
'Cause
to
think
say
about
that
it.
it's some malevolent thing, but they're for sure logging that.
But
They
think
know
about it,
how
there's a
long you
Netflix
surf
profile.
through
Exactly.
Netflix
Right.
They know
before
what you wanna
pick
watch.
a movie.
Yeah.
That's all just analytics. Like we can look at our YouTube and
That's it.
how did people get?
Suggested
There's
watch.
a certain psychology.
You're
to
gonna
it,
like
man.
this. Oh, you're right. It's about a serial killer.
It's like the double slit, the cat in the box double. I always butcher, but like where
Dr. Seuss?
an object is behavior changes when it's being observed. It's kind of the same thing. So now, are you really picking? Or are you picking because they know you're picking?
Yep.
So it's like this extra layer of like psychology that I can't wait to delve into.
dude, it's so deep and it gets so fucking crazy. And it like, again, you guys
Because
will-
there's people that are
you'll
like,
get-
oh, this is like the good thing to do, but I'm gonna do
Right.
the devil gets all
Right.
the good lines.
There's
Let's,
there's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
point.
Dude.
There's a point in this show where I mean, you think it's I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
don't spoil
Just
it.
say the thing you're gonna say.
There's a point in the show where you're with this dude, and the shit he's saying to you is so fucking real, and it's breaking down our society on so many fucking levels, and it's hitting so many triggers and so many fucking feelings of like, man, we're not in fucking control, and this shit is fucking right. and
Right?
this
Yeah,
is
there's layers
nuts.
about free will, right?
This is fucking crazy. Holy shit. And
Because
that-
it's
and
like
I'm
no
gonna stop
matter
there.
what you choose.
But you'll see what I'm
that's-
saying. There's this. You're hanging out in this apartment with this dude. You'll know when you get to this
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
won't say anymore. But
Yeah.
it will blow your fucking mind.
Yeah.
It will blow your.
I'm
fucking,
ready to have my mind blown.
It will blow your fucking mind. I watched it stone cold fucking sober, and I was like, I'm on fucking drugs right now.
Mhm.
This is nuts. A few beers, I can't. Fucking some weed. Holy shit.
Yeah, who's gonna drive you home tonight?
I'll drive. I'll be all right.
Have you guys? Are you guys familiar with Watership Down?
No.
It's a
What's
book.
that? Oh, it's a book?
I don't know. It's old. It's 40, 50 years old. It's about rabbits.
Why the fuck are you gonna bring up a 40
Because-
fucking year old rabbit?
Because
book?
there's a new miniseries on Netflix based on the book.
Okay, it's called the most
Same name.
boringest show on
Watership
planet Earth.
Down. It's definitely not for everybody. I really like it. There's a lot of people out there that do. If you're interested, I don't know. It's a cool story. It's
on
the,
Netflix?
yeah. It's
called
along the
Watership
lines of
Down?
like Animal Farm or The Rats of Nim.
Right, right.
That kind of it's pretty dark.
I don't know. I know Animal Farm. I don't know the rats in
Yeah,
it.
I
Secret
don't
of
know
Nim?
that either.
Oh wait, it sounds familiar.
That's an old cartoon from the 80s, where the rats are kind of this intelligent species, and I don't know. It's cool if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Animal
yeah, I
Farm is
definitely
definitely a crazy concept,
Mhm.
and this is along those lines.
Watership. Down.
Watership Down. If you can get through, 3.5 hours of CGI rabbits talking to each other with British accents,
Jesus Christ!
it's a
no.
cool story.
Oh yeah, definitely
Um,
can.
I just wanted to.
I can get through any amount.
I just wanted to mention that on the show so I could hashtag it.
Hi,
Let's go.
Carl.
I would like watch
like
the
Kylie.
animal the HBO show Animals.
Okay, I've never watched it. I keep seeing and
It's
hearing
good.
about it.
It's pretty good. It's
Is
pretty
it
good.
funny?
I don't think
Is
I
it supposed
watched
to be
the
funny?
newest season, but yeah, it's good. It's like you know, animals. The first season. The reason I didn't really watch past 1 or 2 episodes of this last season, and which I think is the third, if I'm not mistaken, maybe third and fourth, is because like. Okay, so the first couple seasons, this isn't anything. Each episode follows like just this different group of animals. So there'll be like an episode called Rats, and it's all just like from the rats' perspective, and they're hella human. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's the snack over there, and
Like
they're
Ratatouille.
and then you'll see humans in the background, and they're talking. And there's this whole human storyline that's happening, right? But you can't understand the humans. They're all like,
Okay.
and so
That's
it's like
tight.
you only understand the rats
What is this?
or the animal. It's called
Animals.
Animals. It's on
On-
HBO. It's
Abba's
like-
talked about
it's
it before.
animated.
He's
see
not
this
sitting
shit.
there, but that's where
Yeah.
he would be sitting.
See?
Abba's
Yeah,
talked
fuck
about it
that
before.
guy.
I think that the chair is
Yeah.
it's the chair.
Like I said, 2 big guys and a
Yeah,
little guy.
He's
you know?
he's Bluetoothing me right now, which sounds weirder than it is.
You guys are communicating without communicating.
Yeah,
You guys-
but
you're
Which
on-
has happened.
It's good though, but there's humor because like there's an episode about flies, and like you see the entire life of the fly like in the episode, you know, and it'll be like 10 minutes later, and they're like old or whatever. And again, you can never understand the humans. It sounds like almost like the Charlie Brown's
Okay.
parents type shit.
That's awesome.
Um,
yeah.
So it's really entertaining, and it's like just following different groups of animals or whatever, and it all kind of ties into a bigger storyline. But it's really funny.
I
gotta
should
watch
check
it.
it out.
I
I've
gotta-
been meaning to.
Yeah, I gotta watch
Yeah,
this shit. Yeah.
it's funny. One of the funny parts is like it's usually like kind of like 2 main characters, and every time they have the same name, and it's the name of the creators of the show, like
Oh, okay.
Mike and I don't remember the other one, like
Mike and
John
Molly?
or
Oh, that'd be tight.
Gene or
Jelani.
something, right? Something. I don't Dean. I
Yeah.
don't know something. But it's
Steven?
like, but every like you know, it'll be a pigeon this episode or this different episode. It'll be like, oh, I'm Mike, and it's the same voices every time, but they're different
Yeah, I gotta watch
characters.
this
yeah.
shit, dude.
But it's pretty good. The first 2 I didn't finish the last ones because then there was like it started off and it was like not animation and it's like real people and they're talking and you can hear them. I was like, all right, they're reaching and just kind of tuned out after that.
yeah.
Had like sex to it with it in the background
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, I feel you.
and
I
just
feel you.
masturbated
Right,
with
right.
that
Sex.
on,
I
so the
feel ya.
neighbors heard the
I
turned
feel
it
ya.
up
Busting,
and then went into
busting
the
all
other
kinds
room.
of loads. Yeah.
But
That's
pretty
yeah,
good.
That's
pretty
what
good.
we do. Fuck. Anything else, boys?
January 19th at the Paris Theater, Illmaculate and Only One with Cool Nuts, DJ Fat Boy, Bad Habitat, and Ender One. Does
Ooh,
that
nice.
sound right?
I gotta get home
Yeah.
and bust some nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
Definitely.
check all
Watch
that out.
animals while you do it.
yeah, dude.
Have you had a lot of experience with the guy at Paris Theater?
I never performed. I haven't performed
I'm not
there
gonna say.
since like
I'm not gonna
I was
say
like
anything.
16 years old last time I was there, and I like battled Max Smith. Yeah, like
It's a
in
tight
front
name.
of Luck because Luck was like, he was going by Immaculate at the time, and I was like Illmaculate, and he's like, you gotta battle for the name,
Oh shit.
and I was like,
But no
Yo,
problem.
You rocking all? I'm a hot spitter. You rocking this shirt? It says Nautica. We'll put an S after that T, cause you not sicker. It's a true story. That's the last time I was at Paris
Hey,
Theater.
I have a weird.
And notice his name's Max Smith now.
Yep.
So
Always has been. Forever.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
But
That's-
no, I
that's
haven't
funny.
been there since then. So I don't know what to expect.
I've heard interesting things about the whatever he is there, the talent buyer, the promoter. What is he? I don't know what he does.
Yeah, I don't think I'll.
So
do it.
the
It
guy
doesn't matter.
basically it was
Doesn't
a
matter.
guy whose birthday it was that is basically acting as a promoter who put together the show.
Okay.
So a guy was like from I don't know if this is a company or if it's just his Instagram, but it's like La Connoisseur PDX. La Canna Sewer,
Oh,
like
okay.
as in like
Like
cannabis.
weed.
Yeah, he
weed
was
is
he was
tight,
like,
yo.
yo, it's my
Weed
birthday.
is tight.
Yeah, he was like, it's my birthday.
Sorry, I gotta
Well, it
say.
isn't now because you can't do it.
Yeah,
But
fuck.
it was his birthday, and he's like, I just want to put together a show. And so I think it might be a situation where he just kind of booked the Paris
Gotcha.
Theater and
Okay.
then got us. Yeah.
Okay.
So I haven't talked to the guys.
It's a good
The
lineup.
guy
It's a good
at,
lineup.
at the Paris.
What day is it?
It's
19th?
Saturday the 19th.
Saturday, yeah.
8 p.m.
January
Yeah.
the 19th.
That's the one.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna release some new music before then and do some new songs.
It might be a good time to be downtown.
Where
Weekend before my birthday.
where can people find you
So
in the streets?
so I have my own podcast now that I just started recently, and it's called Meanwhile on Earth, and you can get it like on the podcast app or Spotify or
Meanwhile on
wherever.
Earth, how many
Yeah,
episodes in
Meanwhile
are
on
there?
Earth.
Check it out.
7. I think I have 6 released.
Okay.
7 in. The 7th one I think I'll just have on my Patreon
I didn't even
right
know
now.
that. I'm gonna have to
Just you?
check it out.
Yeah.
What's it about?
Yeah, it's pretty much just me having conversations with people, and we started it we started it on the Ruin Your Day channel, which we do watches and stuff rather than mine. But I think we're gonna transition it because that's kind of more battle rap focused. Even though all the conversations I've had are with battle rap related people. Not even necessarily battle rappers, but kind of related.
But
loosely.
it's
We don't
your
really
crowd,
talk
and
about
yeah,
battle
I
rap a
feel you.
lot
I feel
in
you.
it for the most part. We just, and that's what I wanted to do specifically on that channel is like bringing people everyone knew, but show other sides and have different dope conversations. So, but yeah, I'm definitely new to it. New to podcasting. I think we might end up transitioning it to my channel. And I definitely want to branch out to have a lot of different people on it, writers and comics and all, a lot of these other groups. But yeah, so Meanwhile on Earth is available. You can look it up on YouTube. I have like 6 episodes out. It's just me having a conversation with one or two other people about whatever similar to this,
Cool.
Basic podcast format.
I can get behind
We
that.
usually talk about I always find myself getting back to hallucinogens and animals like doing drugs,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're like dolphins do drugs,
Yeah.
like the puffer fish shit. They'll pass the puffer fish and like take the neurotoxins and be
Get
like,
all loaded.
It's a
yeah.
good conversation. Yeah, yeah,
So-
yeah, yeah.
So I got the new podcast out. Check that out. And then other than that, man, just follow my YouTube. The Raising the Bar series I do, just rapping at your face a lot. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter, just at IllmacTV.
You ever get in an
Yeah.
actual fist fight after a battle?
Yes.
Cool. Nice.
But mainly when I was really young,
Yeah.
like in high school. Since then, there's been several times that it could have been a fist fight.
That classic
but
video,
I'm just-
the 2011.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
where-
but where it's just step to the left and
yeah.
let
Quell that
everyone
shit,
else
right?
handle
Like,
it.
You can get
I'm
personal.
like,
I can see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it can go there, but for the most part, it's like boxers beat each other up for 12 rounds and hug after because we know what we're getting ourselves into.
Right.
It's love of the sport for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see it though.
Every now and then, someone crosses a line,
It's
or you
heated.
just really don't like them.
competition
whatever.
and just whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
It is an itch. What I was gonna bring up. Sorry to keep
no, you're
tapping
good.
you. Hey,
You're
bro.
good.
Hey, bro.
I'm not averse. to
Somebody's
it.
gonna get beat up after this
yeah,
show.
No shit. But what I was thinking earlier, have you thought about trying to write for like roast battles or something like that? You're like in the height of this.
I want
boom,
to do.
this
I want to.
comic
I
boom
want to.
and-
I want to do a roast battle, but it'll be like an amateur comic roast battle, but a veteran battle rap roast battle.
It'd be
So,
fucking
so I
rad,
want to
yeah.
do. It's something I've been talking about literally since like 2008 or something like that. But I want to do a roast within our battle community for like different pioneers of our community,
Absolutely.
and just have battle rappers not rap
Right.
and just roast each other. Like
Yeah.
there's
'Cause you guys are
there'd be
all incredible writers.
There's a lot
you
of them
know?
that I think would be amazing at, and even people that are great at battle rapping might bomb at it because it is a different timing. It's like if you rap does not mean you're going to be good at battling. And so that is the thing with transitioning from battle rap where you are roasting someone but you're rapping
Yeah.
to comedy. You might not be that
'Cause
good at it.
just-
And that's why I've been
Well,
apprehensive.
Just the rhythm of
Different
it
timing.
Such a
can
different
change
timing.
the way it's the way
Yeah.
it's like even like if you read rap lyrics versus hearing them
yeah.
than
Yeah.
rap. They don't have the same weight
Yeah.
necessarily.
I've wanted to do comedy for a long time, you know, and all this stuff, but it's not something I take lightly to just jump into. Like I realize, like, oh yeah, this is, you got to learn the timing, you got to really fail,
But
'Cause
at
that's
the
the thing,
same
even with
time,
battle
you do
rap,
have
right?
to jump into that
and
shit.
everything. You gotta,
You
and
know.
of course, and you
Yeah.
gotta fail 100 times
hard. You got to go bomb.
before
hard.
you succeed. So,
But
it's
are
something I want to do
living
within
in
the
the
battle
height
rap
of that comedy
Yeah.
boom right
Yeah.
now, and
And-
like it's such a big thing right now. You know,
I
it's
really
like,
want to do that within the battle rap community, is like kind of have maybe some comics involved, but like do a battle rap driven roast where it's mostly battle rappers and we're roasting someone within the battle rap community that kind of deserves accolades in the same way, you know?
I think it would be I don't know,
and knows
I
how
was
to
just
take
thinking-
it.
Yeah, of
Not-
course.
but I think it would be a fun, cool idea
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
Something
you
I've been
like
wanting
trying to
do.
like even get some side work. Or
I'm gonna
whatever,
try to
like,
do for 2019. I think is a roast.
trying to write for
Trying to
you know.
organize one, even just like a battle rap related roast.
Patron Goddess, by the way, says, "Yo, boy, you look mad cute. Damn, okay, I see you."
Yeah. Okay.
I assume that
Chase.
she's talking
Oh
to
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
strong
like man
name,
boobs?
strong,
You like good man boobs? I'm your guy.
strong name, strong guy.
name, strong name, strong guy. Let's get the fuck
Go to
outta here. I gotta piss.
triplebpodcast.com and follow us on all the social medias and whatnots. Give us
Yes.
positive reviews on Apple Podcasts or iTunes or however that weird stuff works over
Yeah, just
there.
You have the Patreon too, right?
Yeah, hit the Patreon. And yours too. What's your Patreon?
Mine's just Illmac TV, so patreon.com/Illmac TV. I tried to uniform it, so it's the YouTube, Instagram,
Everything's just
Twitter,
Illmac
it's just
TV.
at
Get
Illmac
smart.
TV or
Make it
slash
easy.
Illmac TV. Yeah.
Patreon.com/Triple
following
B
you
Podcast.
yesterday.
Nice.
I'm gonna start like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna comment on your stuff, bro.
Let's go.
We'll
Yeah,
be
let's
back
go.
after the new year with ABBA and maybe some new ideas for
Yeah.
the format of the show.
New year, new me.
Any regrets today?
Absolutely. Actually-
Regrets today or just
Today.
that I have today
no.
from the
'Cause
past?
we could write
today,
lists.
just
I'm
today.
sure.
Regrets today. Starting my workout late to where I'm like, yeah, that 30 minutes of cardio that it did not wash out that meal and excessive sweets I had last night.
Yeah, you
fair.
just
Emptying
you just
the
fucked up my
stocking
night
that I
because I was gonna go home and work out, but now I'm probably gonna go home and drink vodka.
Now you're,
Oh, yeah,
now
never
you're
do
600 calories deep.
never
Yeah.
work out after the. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that. And now that I'm thinking about it, my only regret is regretting what I did
Yeah.
earlier today.
Because no regrets, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hashtag no regrets.
Exactly.
You know.
Hashtag blessed.
Thanks for coming,
Hashtag
Ilmac.
best life.
We appreciate you being here. Everybody
Yeah,
check
thank
out
you.
For real,
him
man.
and all
Thank
the
you,
stuff
thank
he's
you.
got going on,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
plentiful.
Yeah, it was fun.
I guess that's it then. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, happy New
Yes.
Year's, everybody. Yeah, peace. Oh, I gotta piss.
Cha 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 cha.
Oh, air horn. Oh, fuck.
You never heard that fucking sound before, have you?
Was there some folks in there?